the sauce. Hey, get the sauce.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday to all. Hope you all had a great holiday weekend, 3-day weekend. Well, in the betting world, the weekend's almost 4 days when it's a 3-day weekend because Friday night is considered like part of the weekend. I was having an excellent weekend. I had a great Friday, great Sunday, okay Saturday. I had a green Saturday, but it wasn't like a crazy one. So I had 3 straight winning days. 2 of them were excellent. And then I went 0-4 yesterday. So gave a big chunk of it back. Still a positive weekend. Also, it was nice out for most of it. So good weekend overall. Just finished on a terrible note yesterday. Now here we are on Tuesday. We got 1 NHL game, 3 WNBA, 1 NBA, 14 MLB to do. So we got kind of a loaded day. I know we were technically not supposed to start for 4 minutes, but System Plays was already in here, so I figured, whatever. Let's just let's go live and start the poll. Start talking about this hockey game. Rangers are now up 2-1 with 2 overtime wins, right?
Yep, 2 overtime wins for the Rangers. Yeah, so I mean, here, I don't see how you don't take the Panthers here. I mean, I'm on Panthers. Okay, so what I did, I parlayed Panthers money line with Reinhart to get 2 shots on goal, and that comes out to minus 130. And I also took the Panthers in the first period minus half a goal at plus 160. I'm hoping that some money comes in on the Rangers and kind of drives it down to minus 155 or minus 160, but they're all the way up at minus 170 to minus 175 right now. So, but I'm pretty confident a Panthers win tonight. Just the price sucks, but it is pretty indicative about how the books feel about this game. I mean, Game 3 was a Rangers win. I mean, that was the most undeserving win I've seen all playoffs. The Panthers win that game 9 times out of 10, in my opinion. They completely dominated the game to another level, and the Rangers scoring a bunch of lucky bounces, winning OT. So, I mean, if you look at the shots on goal, the Panthers had 37, Rangers had 23. Expected goals, Panthers 3.81, Rangers 1.69. And I think just the Rangers' luck is just going to run out eventually. I mean, I think the Panthers bounce back in a big way tonight, show they're the better team. And I really wouldn't be surprised if Florida just rattles off 3 straight and closes the series out in 6. But obviously, it has to start with Game 4. They can't go to MSG down 3-1. And if they're down 3-1, I think the Rangers are good enough to win one of those games. They're not going to lose lose the series if they go up 3-1 here. But if they can replicate what they did in controlling and dominating the game like they did in Game 3, I mean, this is going to be a comfortable 2 to 3 goal wins for the Panthers. And as for the first period bet, I mean, the Panthers, they need to start hot if they want to dominate again. And I think they just do that, like score 1, maybe 2 in the first period. Maybe they're up 1-0, 2-0 at the end of the first. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty big on the Panthers tonight.
And so you got Reinhart over 1.5 shots on goal paired with the Florida money line, I guess, to just bring the price down. I was doing that a lot with the MLB last year. I would always take like a super, like I would tease it up to like under 9.5 or something crazy like that. So I've experimented with some of that. So you got Florida first period minus 0.5 goal. Reinhart over 1.5 shots on goal with the Florida money line, which comes out to be minus 128. All right, so he's on the Panthers. I'm wondering if a bit of this is part of your rivalry with the Rangers fans in the comments.
Oh, no. Like, dude, trust me, I hate the Panthers as much as I hate the Rangers, dude. Like, honestly, I think I might hate the Panthers more because they're in the same division as my team. So, but yeah, I mean, I think just the Panthers, I mean, it's obvious, man. Like, they're throwing them out at minus 170 here. Like, oh, so many people are taking the Rangers again. Like, I guess I don't blame them, but like this is the Panthers spot. Like, they have to win this game, and I think they just get it done. Like, they've played better in every single game this series, so I think they
all right,
even the series up.
Panthers up, and actually our poll, surprisingly, is leaning towards the Panthers. 52%, 35% Panthers. So not overwhelming. There are people betting the Rangers, but definitely a lot of people like Florida here. All right, System Plays. Make sure you guys give him a follow on Twitter. There's his name right on the screen there. Appreciate you taking the time to come on, and I'll let you know what the schedule is for tomorrow.
All right, sounds good.
Later, man. Okay, so we actually have a little bit of time here because we got about 15 minutes. Hey, Sauce, how you doing today? I'm doing well, man. It was a nice weekend. Should I put the poll for WNBA? Let's put a more fun poll up. What game surprised you? I'd say the Houston one. I was surprised by. The other plays, I mean, the two losses I had were one was a plus 136 underdog. I mean, I've been hitting on those, but when you're playing dogs like that, you have to expect some losses. You're not going to hit 80% playing underdogs. That's the whole idea. Is that the goal is to hit 50% because you're getting paid out plus money on them. Unfortunately, there's a lot of newer folks to the channel that don't really understand, but it's all right. Did Toast and Kimmich do the podcast? Yeah, I just uploaded it like 2 hours ago. So it's brand new, so you can check it out. You can go check it out right now if you want, or wait till after this show. Thanks, Bodai. Yeah, good. If you're not hitting 75% of your plus money picks, what are you even doing out here? Exactly. I mean, it comes with the territory because obviously, like, you want the show to grow, right? It's a good thing. I put a lot of work into it. It's awesome to see more viewers. But when you're having a really good stretch and you're winning, it brings a lot of new viewers that the second you have a losing day will turn into the biggest assholes ever in the comments, which, whatever. Would rather they just didn't watch the channel, but... They talked about bat speed in the episode. There was a bat speed segment. They're talking about Kyle Tucker and they bring up bat speed. Watch the podcast you were on earlier today. Oh, Guy Boston. Cool. Yeah. I love Beaver's Lizardo play. I mean, I'm sure I have a graphic for it. Rather than me pull up his Twitter, let's just go find it. Oh, Miami's at the end. I probably should have went the other way. See what Lizardo play they're talking about. Over 17 and a half outs. Do you hit using the boost often? I don't really use the boosts. Kyle touring the networks like Daytime TV. I mean, he asked me. Knicks got him re-signed OG. I thought. Hold on one second. He's good through the next year, so it's not oh, he's got a player option. I see what you're saying. I read something. I thought like that we were going to lock him up. I read something that gave me confidence. All right, I'll bring you on. You didn't send any WNBA picks, so.
Like, you can check my Twitter for something that I posted, but
oh, let me turn the green screen off.
Yeah.
I have it set up for two people, so you're not on for WNBA. I can bring you on though if you want.
Yeah, I'll just give my thoughts and see what Chris thinks, if he agrees or disagrees.
Sure. I'll set it up for 3 people now. Oops. There we go.
But yeah, I feel you about the underdogs and plus money plays.
Well, it's not just that. It was more just I had a very good week and a really good weekend. And the views were up, which means there's new viewers, new bettors, and you know how that goes.
Yeah.
I mean, those people, you could literally give them a pipeline to the best handicapper on the planet's picks, and they would complain.
And they'd be unhappy.
Yeah. This is like, I have no clue.
Yeah, I mean, I had one stretch where I think I had like 4 straight days I went 2-1, and then somebody commented like, enough of these 2-1 days. We need a 3-0 day, and I was like
dude, that's called 66.6%.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I don't think sports betting's for you if that's what you're looking for.
I know, it's crazy. and sometimes you can't even blame them because of all the social media accounts out there. They literally have the idea in their head, like, oh, I found this guy who's got 85,000 subscribers. Like, he must hit every pick. Like, they everything builds it up to where sometimes it's like, I kind of get why you don't know any better.
Yeah.
Where can I find money percentage on each team? I missed that graph. I mean, everywhere has that. Sports Betting Dime, Action Network. Pretty much every betting analytics site has that.
Even the sports books themselves will post.
Yeah.
The action
A BetStamp has it.
FanDuel has it.
Yeah. Shipley says System Plays hits at a 95% rate. All right, we got 8 minutes. Kyle, how do we join the Discord? Oh, it's on KyleKirms.com. Someone asked, how helpful is that? I'm assuming you're talking about the bets and money percentage. Probably not very helpful. It's more just like it's like a cool talking point. Looks cool. It's a cool graphic for the screen, but as far as, I mean, you could look at 6 different sites. They all show you 6 different sets of data. In my opinion, the best way to get an idea of what where all the action's going is to just follow the sport, and I mean. And if you don't, like, for example, Mavericks, Timberwolves, that actually this one's probably a little more split, to be honest, but you would imagine most people are betting Dallas here. It's just you follow the sport, follow accounts on Twitter, and you can get an idea. Everyone's betting Patrick Mahomes every week. But as a whole, it shouldn't play too much of a, like, if you're confident in your spot, don't let it shake you off. Yeah,
I think it can only... Like, the most valuable is if you see it, like, all the action, all the money on one side, and the line doesn't move. Like, we talked about that literally yesterday with the total. Like, all the action, everything was on the under, and they didn't move the line. Someone said,
all right, a couple things. Cody Locke says, I'm trying to get signed by Kyle. I'm a free agent handicapper. Still waiting for the call. I'm guessing you're one of the. I got a few of those emails. I'll answer them. I got a couple of people that emailed me. I guess you're one of them. I'll answer those. Send over like a portfolio though. Don't just send over like, yo, I'm really good at betting. Like, that's what they get. They'll send over like, yo, I'm nice. Like, yo, send over like, have you written articles? Have you worked in sport? Like, send over some stuff like that. Toast hits at a 32.6% rate since February 21st. Well, that's not true. I think that he was joking. Kyle, do you recommend selling a body part on the black market so I can hammer Timberwolves money line? Yes, and I'm surprised you haven't done it already. If you read my blog, you would have known I highly advise doing so. Helms, Helms, you were on yesterday. You got a glimpse of the college football spreadsheets. You guys want to see something? You want to be the first person to see it? So this is what I was in the lab last night. You guys are getting a sneak peek. Here. Obviously, this isn't done. I'm just building it out. Hold on. Okay, so how do I? One sec. Just a little something here. So let's go Penn State, Ohio State. Here's all their games for the last 10 years. I got returning production, recruiting ranks, total offense, rushing, passing, defense, run defense, pass defense, and then on the other side, all the same thing. These spreadsheets are it's going to be my masterpiece. That's why I'm starting it in May. They're going to be flawless by the time we kick off.
Got to get ahead of it.
I'm very excited about it. Like, I was like sending screenshots to Prop Beaver like 3 a.m. Like, dude, I'm trying to sleep. I don't want to talk about college football right now.
It's May and I'm trying to sleep.
Toast told me there was value in taking the Red Sox yesterday. They lost. The lesson was definitely valuable. Bets lose sometimes. It happens, my man.
It's my favorite thing. You give predictions. Sometimes they're wrong.
Yeah, like it happens.
That's how it goes.
Oh, Chris, you're here. Chris is just silently listening to us in the background.
I think he can't hear us.
Chris, can you hear us?
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
What's up, man? How's your day?
Finally, a day with no audio problems.
Yeah, he sounds good. Sounds good. How was your weekend?
It was good, man. It was. I ended up staying off that game altogether yesterday, Kyle. And I'm so glad I did because I was expecting over. I was expecting Boston to cover, and neither one of those things happened. So I'm glad we talked it out. I know none of us sounded super confident, and I was like, you know what? No bet may be better than a bet. So I just stayed away, and that made my weekend a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying that for a couple NBA games now that, and I'm starting to get really into baseball too. That it's hard sometimes, where it's like I'm looking at this game and it's like. The confidence just isn't there. Meanwhile, I'm looking at the baseball slate and I'm finding like 3 bets I really like. So it's tough. But I mean, I am going to bet this one today, and we'll talk about it right after.
I bet it too.
Yeah. I didn't bet it yet, but I am going to. But I like the baseball plays better. I mean, it's 3:57. Give it a. I might as well wait till 4. Let's stay on schedule here. Chris, Modai, you guys do anything for Memorial Day?
I moved. That's basically it.
Modai's been moving every day since 2021.
It feels like it. It really, I mean, cross country moves really feel like every day you're moving something.
Yeah, cross country's crazy.
Yeah, cross country is crazy. I didn't do much. Just kind of chilled at home with the fam. I didn't do much. Watched a little. I mean, I watched all the games. Me and my son. I got a 6-year-old, and he has me in the win. So like, if I'm not like like handicapping sports, like I'm typically like doing Duolingo, teaching them Spanish. He got me outside playing basketball, soccer, riding bikes, like doing push-ups. He thinks he know how to work out. So like, it's just whatever he wants to do. It's his world, and I'm just kind of living in it.
Yep. My whole family went away. They did like a Memorial Day weekend trip. So when I finished up the show on Monday, I like went to text, like see what my brother's doing. Like no one's around. No one's around. So I was like, all right. I built a college football spreadsheet. That's what I did. Happy Memorial Day.
Right back to work. I like it.
No, I'm really excited about that spreadsheet too because I feel like last season, first of all, I had a losing season, but I also feel like the season started and I wasn't prepared because I got so into the baseball show and then college football started and I just completely underestimated the amount of work that needed to be done. So I'm staying ahead of the ball. I'm putting in like an hour this night and an hour this night. So by the time August rolls around, I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm doing that thing we talked about, Kyle, with the WNBA model too. Like,
cool.
Yeah, like now that we have like 4 or 5 games, I'm almost done. But I've been like working on that a lot in my free time too, like just trying to knock that out because this is my first time like doing a WNBA model, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah. I actually, we should hop on a call because I learned something that it would work exactly with what you're building.
Let's do
it. What you do is you open up 2. No one's going to, this is boring.
We'll
talk about it after. Everyone's going to be like, dude, we don't care. But I learned something that I think.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, because you showed me what you were building, and I learned something that I think would like expedite your process. But we'll talk about it after.
Okay.
It's 3:59. That's good enough. So we have 3 WNBA games first. Modai said he very lightly handicapped the WNBA games, so he hopped on. We got Mercury at Connecticut here. Sun, wait a second. Is this right? That says Connecticut Sun 1-4 against the spread.
Yeah, they haven't been covering.
They're winning though, right?
Their net rating is like a plus 2.9. They haven't been covering, but they've been winning.
They've been winning. That's why I was confused. They've been winning games though.
Uh-huh.
All right,
yeah.
So do they cover this one?
Moda, go ahead. What you think?
Well, I'm starting to question my stats because I have them covering the spread, but I looked at net rating this morning and I thought they were like they have the second best net rating in the WNBA. They're plus 9.4.
Unless he's talking about he might be talking about their net rating versus the line rather than.
Oh, that might be it. Yeah.
Like
I was just talking about versus the line. Yeah.
Their ATS margin net rating.
Oh, interesting. Okay, got it. That makes sense. Yeah, because I took the spread. I got them minus 7.5. I did pay a little bit of juice. I got it at minus 115. Mostly with WNBA, a lot of what I try to do is just read the market. Like it opened at minus 7. It got it bet up to 7.5. Now it's at 8. So I try to just kind of catch it while it's moving. And then I do like a little bit. I don't do nearly as much analysis as I do with NBA and MLB. So I honestly want to hear your thoughts about what you think. But I took the Sun. Again, I got the minus 7.5. What I'm seeing is they have the second best net rating in the WNBA. They're better at home, like +2 in terms of their normal net rating at home. They're going up against the Mercury, who have a winning record, but they have a negative net rating. They're minus 2.6. And if I remember correctly, the Mercury were bad away last year. That hasn't really borne itself out yet this year. Granted, they've only played 2 games, so it's too early to tell. So that's why I ended up going with the Sun.
Connecticut Sun minus. You said you got it 7.5.
I got it at 7.5. Yeah.
Yeah,
Chris?
The WNBA, outside of injuries, if you like a team, like you do probably want to get on them on that day. Because they haven't been winning by like big margin, I didn't play them here in this spot, but I would only look towards Connecticut as well. And one of the reasons why is because Phoenix is actually on the first leg of a back-to-back. And they're defensively, they're really, really bad. Like the Connecticut Sun will have dogs on their team. I mean, you got Alyssa Thomas, who's like the Draymond Green of the WNBA. You got DeWanna Bonner, who's like, I probably would compare it to like Kevin Durant. She's like all-time top 10, top 15 leading scorer. And Connecticut, they play really good offense and defense. And without Brittany Griner, who remains out, and Rebecca Allen, who is returning back to Connecticut, and you got Silk Sutton listed as who is the backup point guard, I think it could be really, really difficult for Phoenix to be able to score here. So I really wanted to take the over, but I ended up I played total, specifically Connecticut team total, over the 85.5. And here's why. Phoenix defense has been really, really bad. They're going to continue to be without Brittany Griner. They have the second worst rated defense in the W behind the Fever. They just gave up 100 points in a home game against the Dallas Wings that only had Arike Ogunbowale, who had dropped 40 on their head. And defensively, they're allowing 90 points per game. So I think Connecticut can get it's 93.5.
Oh, no. I just did some quick math. What is it at? What is what is it at?
You scared the crap out of Chris.
Should be 87. I got it at 85.5, but I think the total did tick up just a tad bit. I was like 93. Jesus.
I'll check. No, that was my math. That was wrong.
That is okay. Connecticut, they're also the best. They're the best at limiting opponent rebounding, and Phoenix is the second worst at opponent rebounding. So Connecticut should dominate the boys in this spot. Also being on the first leg of a back-to-back, it wouldn't surprise me if they ended up pulling their players. The Phoenix Mercury would in this spot, just because they do have a game against the Liberty tomorrow. So I like Connecticut team total over just to kind of stay away from the spread, but I couldn't talk you off, man. I could definitely see a double-digit win here for Connecticut at home.
Yeah, it does. It is 87.5, and you could get a minus 115 out there. So you can get it at close to an even minus 110. Our poll likes the Mercury. So 42%, 37% taking the points with Phoenix. Next up, Sparks Fever. Ski likes this one. I don't know if you caught Ski's show today.
I did get a chance to look at you guys, look at a bit of it.
Yeah, that's how I know it because I was on it. That's how I know.
Yeah, I think he said, what he liked, the Sparks plus 3.
He likes
3 first half, right?
Sparks first half, but he got a 3. I think it's 2.5 now.
Which makes sense. This line was really interesting to me. So when it opened yesterday, it was 5.5 when I did my show yesterday morning. And then I saw it go up to 6, and I was like, who in their right mind is laying 6 with the Fever that's won 1 game? And like, who is laying 6 points with a team that's won 1 game? And then, one of the trends, probably the strongest trend so far in the NBA is that home favorites, while they are 14-7 straight up, they're just 3-16-2 against the number. So the books have been making the numbers really, really big, and teams have not been covering it all. Like I said, just 3-16-2. So immediately I was already looking towards the Sparks, thinking that there was too many points to be laid here. And I kind of agree. I mean, so far the Sparks have been the better offensive team, defensive team, rebounding team. They have better assist numbers. And I think they'll be able to keep this one close as well. Lasia Clarington is ruled out for the Sparks. I don't like that as much. And I also think that when you look really, really deeply, the Connecticut's this Indiana Fever team, they have played a much more difficult schedule. Remember, we talked about this, Kyle. Like the first few games, the schedule makers did the Fever they had the Liberty twice, then they got Connecticut twice.
Then they had like 3 games in 4 days.
Yeah, 3 games in 4 games, like 4 games in 6 and 5, and like they played more games than any other team. So that scared me off just a tad bit. But I do think if I'm playing, I didn't play this one. If I am playing it, I'm only taking the points with the Sparks here, thinking that they'd be able to keep it within 2 possessions.
Sparks or pass?
I took the Sparks.
Oh, okay. The Sparks too.
The Fever have the worst net rating in the WNBA by a mile. I get that their schedule's been hard, but they've been getting smoked. And I got them at 5.5. I would still take in what world should they be 5.5 point favorites over anybody? I feel like it's the Caitlin Clark effect. Like people just want to bet on her because she's awesome. And they had the Rookie of the Year last year. Alicia Boston. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, to me, it was as simple as that. Like, I feel like you're paying a Lakers tax with betting on Caitlin Clark. So I'll take the Sparks.
You know what? Screw it. I'll put Sparks up too, knowing literally nothing. But let's sweep. They
got Cameron Brink.
No, I know Brink, and obviously I know Caitlin Clark and Boston from UConn. I know those 3 players. But yeah, Sparks for me, even though I have no idea. And we got one more WNBA game. Well, I can tell you who I won't be betting.
Seattle.
Not touching the Storm. No chance. This team just doesn't know how to do it. Just cannot get the job done. I am 0-1 lifetime betting WNBA. The culprit,
wow,
the Seattle Storm.
This is
0% hit rate.
0%
hit rate, Matt.
Negative 100% ROI, Kyle.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yep. Lost my entire investment all on the Seattle Storm.
Chris, I'm curious what you think about. So I looked at a player prop here, and I don't want to totally butcher her name, but Nika Agwamike. Is that how you pronounce it?
Neka Gomowale. I'm sorry, Neka. Is it Nneka?
Yeah, Agwamike.
Agumbawale?
Not a Goombawale. I know who you're talking about.
This is bad.
This is terrible. This is terrible audio. Anyways, I took her over 27.5 points plus rebounds. What I looked at here was the Chicago Sky. They are horrible guarding the paint. Literally give up the most field goal attempts and field goals at the rim or in the restricted area. That's where Nneka.
Ogumake. That's how it is.
Yeah.
I kept butchering it too.
She scores the most on that team, and then from a rebounding perspective, she also gets the most rebounds on the team. And the Storm shoot the most in the paint, which is where someone in my just knowing what I know about the NBA, people that get the most rebounds get them in the paint. So if the team they're going up against a team that shoots the most in the paint, that's where I took her points plus rebounds. It was really like, without knowing anything about the two teams, it was really just like looking into the stats and what the Sky give up, where they shoot from. And yeah, so that's where I went with the player prop over. It was 27.5 points plus rebounds, and I got it at minus 118. Let me see what that's.
What's the number? How many points and rebounds?
27.5.
Got it.
It actually got bumped to 28.5. I got it at 27.5. It got bumped to 28. So I guess that good CLV there. But anyways, that's what I took for this one. Just reading the reading what they give up, where they give it up, and stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah, Nneka is she's amazing, and I think she's getting a tad bit healthier now too, coming off that ankle injury that kept her out for the first couple games. I think she got hurt like in game 2. She missed games like 3 and 4, I think, and then she came back in game 5, and they just blew out the Washington Mystics by like 40 the other day. And it wouldn't surprise me if she went for 20 and 10 here. So I couldn't talk you off of that one. I actually like that look a lot. As far as the actual side, it's a very, very difficult one. I kind of feel like Seattle's kind of putting it together, because we talked. Cal lost on them one game. It was a bounce back game, and then we didn't want to play them no more. And I told them they were going to eventually get it together. They did blow out the Washington Mystics. Now, the Chicago team is definitely not the Washington Mystics, but I do expect Seattle to get it together. I think they are, power rating up. A lot of people probably still got them probably 4th. This is another one that kind of stayed off because Chicago has been surprisingly really, really good. Like Teresa Weatherspoon being their coach. They got Maria Mabry, who plays the guard position. She can flat out shoot the ball. And they just play hard. Like Angel Reese, one of the rookies, Elizabeth Williams, Diamond DeShields.
Oh,
Dana
I put
Evans.
up Seattle. Now, are you talking about you leaning towards
Yeah,
Chicago?
well, no. I stayed off of it. I didn't bet it at all, Kyle. I didn't bet it at all. But I could kind of, and the reason why is because I could kind of see it going both ways. And with a spread this small, it really wouldn't surprise me if Seattle was able to come in here and squeak out a win and win by 3 points, or if Chicago as a home dog continue to play really, really well and covered the number and won this game outright either. I could definitely see it going both ways. If I was getting, a tad bit, few more points with either team, I probably would take it. But I stayed off of this one. Could really just see kind of going both ways.
I'll put up my lean, Sky, because the Storm are choke artists, and they really let. And it wasn't just me; the entire Discord was let down by that loss. We all had the Storm. They came back, forced overtime, and we were like, "We got this, guys." We were panicking for no reason. No. Oh, whoops. All right, let's talk NBA.
Let's do it. People's names I can pronounce.
What you got to do, you always you type into YouTube their highlights if you don't know how to say it. And
Yeah, that's true. I'll get it right.
Timberwolves, Mavericks in Dallas, over 211.5, over 211.5. All right, poll is running. So, where's that poll? There it is. Okay. So I didn't bet this yet, but I'm going to bet it right after. I will be playing the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think they win the game. So, all right, what have we seen so far in this series? So obviously, Dallas was the move in games 1 and 2. They won the rebounding battle, and probably more importantly, they dominated as far as scoring in the paint. They outscored Minnesota in the paint significantly in game 1 and 2. And then what did we see in game 3? Things flipped a little bit. We saw Minnesota go on the road where, they've been better for months. They're a much better team on the road. They were good at home to start the season, but from the All-Star break on, Minnesota was a better road team for sure. So they went on the road. They were getting points where they're better. They are actually the best team in the NBA this year as underdogs. The best record against the spread is underdogs, Minnesota Timberwolves. So on the road getting points. We saw them in game 3 in that spot, and I took them in game 3. I was on Dallas in the first 2. And obviously they lost that game. But what happened in that game? Dallas shot 50% from 3. It doesn't matter. It could be, I said this exact same sentence on Ski's show. It could be Celtics, Hornets, and Boston. If the Hornets are going to come in and shoot 50% from 3 to 30%, they're probably going to win. So there's just an extreme three-point shooting discrepancy in game 3 that kind of threw off everybody's scent as far as what really happened in that game. I mean, Minnesota won the rebounding battle, something they hadn't done. They outscored Dallas in the paint 50-40, something they hadn't done. So what I was expecting to see in game 3, I saw it. I saw what I was expecting to see in game 3. I just wasn't expecting Dallas to never freaking miss, which is what happened. And look, obviously, Dallas has definitely established themselves as the better team without a question. But here we are, 3-0. Minnesota on the road catching points again. If we saw that same exact game 3 and the three-point shooting was even, Minnesota wins by double digits. If you flip the three-point shooting, Minnesota wins by 20. So I actually, unlike a lot of what you'll see on Twitter and a lot of the commentary you heard after game 3, I actually didn't think Minnesota played terribly in that game. I mean, Dallas just hit their shots. Now, if Dallas is going to come out and shoot 50% from 3 again, I'm going to lose this bet. But I'm willing to put my money on that not happening, and Minnesota on the road getting points where they've been better. I'm going to roll with the Wolves. And I'm almost hesitant to say this because some of you in the comments are freaks, but I just can't see both series sweeping, man. And I'd like to, no conspiracy theory bullshit. I'm not saying anything like that, but both? What? No way. And I'm like, that's not a reason for the bet. I'm just saying that's kind of crazy. So I'm on Minnesota.
conspiracy theory.
Nah,
sauce.
see,
I like it.
don't
Whatever,
even,
right?
don't even. That's why I said that on Ski Show, and Rob Vino's like, "Wow, Kyle, you're coming with conspiracy theories." I'm like, no. See, I don't even want to say it. I'm just saying, like, take a step back. Like, can you really see both? We're not going to see a basketball game for 8 days.
Is Scott Crawford reffing this game? Because it might be on to something. If
Scott
he is.
Crawford? You mean Foster?
Yeah. I don't know where I got Crawford from.
Scott Crawford. Yeah, Scott Crawford will be out there. Yes, I think Scott Foster is officiating the game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, that's a sleeper agent if I've ever seen it. I would agree with you on Minnesota. I think it's really easy to just bet the team that's up 3-0 thinking that they're going to win again. But like all 3 games have been 50-50, and the Mavericks have won all 3. And this isn't Pacers Celtics where the Pacers lost every 50-50 game and clearly out-talented, outmatched. So I would agree with you on Minnesota. I have 3 player props on this one, so I'll be quick. Number 1, I had Anthony Edwards over 7.5 first quarter points. Everybody's been down on Ant because he hasn't been able to score. He's hit this first quarter point prop in all 3 games this series. He plays all 12 minutes, which is huge, and he gets tired. Like, that's why he hasn't been able to play well. It's because he gets tired, and the defense, the Mavericks defense clamps up in the second half. But no Derek Lively means that they're not going to protect the rim as well. Gafford will play maybe 6 to 8 minutes in the first quarter. When he's out, it's going to be a free-for-all getting to the rim, which Ant has not been able to do. And that's really why he's been struggling so much, is he can't get to the rim. Like, the Nuggets and the Suns have nobody that can protect the rim. And then you face Gafford and Lively, who aren't the most talented big men, but they can cover the rim. So I like the Ant first quarter prop. I also have Kyle Anderson over 5.5 points. Those are my 2 one like full unit plays that I put. Anderson, he missed this in like first, like he cashed it.
I just saw a Karl Anthony Towns graphic and it makes me want to mute you, bro.
Oh, what? Because he's played 3 bad games in a row. He can't have a good game in a row.
All right, do Kyle Anderson. I'll listen to this one, but you're going to talk about Karl Anthony Towns next. All right,
yeah,
all right. Let's hear Kyle Anderson. I like Kyle Anderson. Go ahead.
He's playing 20 minutes a game. His floater is really important because, I mean, granted, with no Lively, they're going to be able to get to the rim easier. But like the way that the Timberwolves have been scoring is that the mid-range little floater game with him and Conley. His defense isn't fantastic, but he at least makes whoever he's guarding work. Like, he knows how to position his body. He knows where to be. And he's going to play 20 minutes, and he'll get 3 floaters, and he'll cash this for us. The Karl Anthony Towns one, everybody's going to hate.
All right, hold on. I actually want to put up hold on. Let's get it on the screen. And I'm going to put up a poll. Will Modi hit his Karl Anthony Towns prop? This is going to be 90% no.
Well, it's a plus 185. Will a plus 185 bet hit? Yeah, I mean, more often than not. I mean, you hated my Derek White play yesterday. That was fading recent results. That cashed. The one that you did like ended up losing. So stick to main lines, Kyle. It's just regression to the mean. He has been horrible shooting all series. He's been terrible. Over half of his 3-point attempts this series have been considered wide open. So it's not like they're heavily contesting or anything like that. Even if you isolate his wide open 3-pointers in the playoffs, which includes these last 3 games in which he's been terrible, he's still shooting over 40% on wide open 3-pointers. Now, obviously that was all in the Suns versus Nuggets series, but still they're not really covering him that closely. And if you will allow me to go to the regular season, he shot 48.7% on wide open 3-pointers. In this series, he's shooting 27%, and literally like I said, over half of his attempts are wide open. He's played well in important playoff games. Like, everyone thinks he's like a fraud and he's soft and whatever, which I'm all for clowning Karl Anthony Towns by all means. But he was awesome in Game 7. Like, they would not have won Game 7 against the Nuggets without him, where Ant couldn't do anything. Legitimately good. And it's betting on, it's regression to the mean. Someone who's been shooting horribly to go back and play well. 3 made 3-pointers. That's not that crazy. He shot 8 in Game 3. He shot 9 in Game 1. That's what we're going with. And again, this was a half unit play.
The comments are on fire right now. Someone said, Modi, go back to moving.
That's pretty good.
All right, Chris. First question. Do you agree with Karl Anthony Towns?
Yeah, I do. I would be telling Modi if I was.
Let's go, Chris. Chris, be right.
Yeah. Guy, you say it all the time, guy. Especially if you think the Timberwolves are gonna win, they're gonna need Karl Anthony Towns to play.
Hold on. Let me just. It wasn't the fact that Karl Anthony Towns just had a bad game, or 3 bad games for that matter. That's not what we saw. what we saw was him missing by a foot. Like there's something in his head. Like he's like stage fright. I mean, we've all experienced it. I've had anxiety attacks on camera before. He's having that in front of us. We are witnessing it, and like it's not like, oh, his shots just weren't falling. Like I saw him shoot a 3 that it missed by a full foot. So I'm just saying, like, I don't think he's got it right now. And I'm not the type of person that would like trash athletes. Like Karl Anthony Towns is very successful, but I just think mentally he's out of it right now. Like he is hearing like the criticism, I think, in my opinion.
And that's typically when they bounce back though, Kyle. Like if you bet his under today, he mess around and hit 4 threes in the first quarter. Like that's typically how it goes. Like he's shooting averaging 15 points on 28% shooting and 13% shooting from the 3-point line, coming off an 0 for 8 game. So I know if I bet his under, he'd be 4 for 5 at the end of the first quarter. So I'm definitely not taking his under. But I took the over here, Kyle. I do think that the regression, this works well for Modi's play on Karl Anthony Towns to bounce back, Anthony Edwards to go over his first quarter points, the Timberwolves to score more points. Because if we're being honest, I think both of you guys mentioned it already, but the games have been pretty even. The Timberwolves got out to big leads in game 1 and game 2, and then we saw Dallas fight back, and then Dallas got out to the big lead in game 3, and we saw the Timberwolves fight back. Neither one of these teams, I wouldn't say neither one of these teams. Dallas offense can't seem to be stopped at all. And when I think about this, all 3 games going over, not just over, like they're not squeaking over. They're going over by average of 10 points. The Dallas Mavericks total, like their team, they just keep scoring more and more points every single game. If you go through and look at it, and their percentage just keep going up. And you wouldn't expect that from a Dallas team that plays better on the road. And now you're telling me no Lively. So that means Timberwolves should be able to get downhill a little bit more, right? I did go in and check the numbers. They're pretty boring, but their defensive rating is like a -12 without him on the floor when you look at points scored per 100 possessions. So I love that. And in my opinion, Dallas is they're not going to play fast, but what are we doing about Kyrie and Luka? I think the answer is nothing. You just let them score. I mean, you can't stop them at this point. And I do think the role players are going to continue to play good too. Derrick Jones Jr. being able to knock down threes. And even if they don't shoot 50% from the 3-point line, because Dallas Mavericks shot the leather off the ball in the last game, they probably still get to 105. Like, we don't need to give them to 116. And I do think Minnesota's going to be able to score a little bit more because, as I kind of already talked about, without Derek Lively being there, I think it'll be a little bit easier for them to score. And I've heard that Rudy Gobert may play a little less. And if he plays a little bit less, that speeds the pace up. So I like the over a little bit more than anything else. I grabbed it at 210.5 earlier, but I still like the 211.5. I think that this game goes over. I also, just so I'm always the trend guy. So home favorites looking for a sweep are 7-4 straight up, 7-4 against the spread, 8-2-1 to the over. And if the road dog who's trying to avoid getting swept didn't cover in game 3, those games are 6-2-1 to the over as well in game 4. So couple trends, but also just the eye test, the number test, all that good stuff. Dallas is shooting like 50% from the field on the series, which tells me Minnesota has no, I don't think that they have a solution just to try to be able to score more.
Someone said, what Batman villain could ChrisBeCappinn play? Probably the Riddler. I could see him in the costume. So, Chris, while you're over here talking basketball, they're picturing you in tights, apparently.
I love it.
All right. Baseball is up.
Kyle, real quick, what's the you like Minnesota today? What's the projected score? What's the game?
I like the over 2. I like how they moved the total up to 211.5, which, because I was with you guys yesterday. I said what I said about like everyone betting the over. I wasn't on the under. I was just saying why I was scared of it. And the reason was they weren't moving the total at all. It was at 224.5, then 222.5, 222.5. This one was at what, 207.5. Now it's at 211.5, which at least gives me a little bit of confidence that they're seeing the same things I am. It's when they move the line in complete opposite of what I saw and I feel, where it's like I'm not arrogant enough to be like, like obviously they're not just aimlessly moving the number. They have reasons for doing so. So yeah, I would go over in this one too. But I'm just gonna bet the Wolves. I'm probably not even gonna take the 1.5. I think I'm just gonna take the money line. Actually, I want the 1.5 in case Luka does something crazy at the end. I want the 1.5. I want the 1.5.
Secondary bet of Timberwolves total over, Cal? No.
What's up?
I said secondary bet of Minnesota team total over or no?
Yeah, Vino liked that too. So yeah, I like that. I like that bet from the start. Yep.
Okay. All right. Best of luck, fellas. Best of luck to the community. I'll catch you guys later.
Let's talk.
See you, Chris.
Later, Chris. Make sure you guys give Chris a follow. All right. Looks like the gang is all here.
I was just reading through the comments, just watching myself just get roasted in real time through all the comments.
Yeah. And also, something I noticed is like in text, like sometimes you say something and it comes off like really rude, where it's like you didn't even like. It happens all the time when I respond to comments. Like I'll respond and people are like, "Wow, look how mad he is." When it's like, "Oh no, that's not why."
Yeah.
I mean, and you read it back, it's like, "Oh, I guess how that could look." So like a lot of times in text, shit just gets misconstrued.
Is Steve Crawford the ref for Game 4 tonight?
Steve Crawford is ref in the game.
Word. Just wanted to make sure.
No, I think he said Scott Crawford.
Oh, Scott Crawford.
Is that a real person? Did I just make up a name?
I think you did.
Kinda, yeah.
I'm pretty sure you just did, yeah.
Who was the Crawford? Oh, that was Carl Crawford on the Rays back in the day.
Such a
Yeah.
legend.
All right. First up is Boston, Baltimore, and a prop Beaver. I put you up first because I saw on Twitter you have a bet on this game.
Yeah, bit square. Pretty much every time you bet Baltimore, it's gonna be a bit square here, but I really like the value. So I went with the Baltimore first 5 run line. I'm trying to pull up the odds right now to see what they are updated, see if it's still a playable line for you guys. You know how those shits move. So let's see. Yeah, you can still get a -125. I played at a -120. That's about my breaking point, but there's like 7 books with -125 available. So would definitely still play this. Main reason I locked this in is because, yeah, I like fading Baltimore a bit through the first 5 against righties. That's been profitable for us this season, but that's mainly been on the road. On the road, they're bottom 10 in all those categories, WRC+, ISO average against righties, but at home through the first 5, they're top 10 in all those categories, and I feel like this offense is starting to reheat against righties. Last 4 overall to face Baltimore, 6.86 ERA, 153 whip. Last 4 righties at Baltimore, 7.17 ERA, 145 whip, 1.3 home runs per 9. Only 1 pitcher overlapped during that span. And while Brian Bello is having a solid season thus far, he's significantly worse versus lefties. The Orioles start 6th daily, and on top of that, what has his worst spot been? On the road against lefties. Ugly 385 WOBA, 3 home runs per 9, and a 669 FIP. On top of that, the Orioles have crushed his pitch mix. He's allowed 3+ runs all 3 times he's seen them. I think they could get to him early. On the other side, we got G-Rod. He's back at home where he's been dominant. And I also like the fact that the Red Sox start 5 lefties daily, including their most productive bats. We've seen G-Rod be a lot more productive against lefties thus far. And at home against lefties is his sweet spot. 185 WOBA, 0.84 whip. I know that G-Rod looked a bit mediocre in his only 2 starts against the Sox, but those were both on the road. Now he's at home, and his walks line is only 1.5, juiced -145 to the over, despite flying over his last 6-7 starts. Command has been the only thing that's really holding him back lately, so if that's going to be in check, I think he has a really good game here. I think it's worth laying a half run through the first 5 here with the O's.
Yeah, and a lot of what you said is I looked at the same thing and had a lot of similar thoughts. I do think Bayo's going to come around eventually. This might not be the spot for it. This is a pass for me. If I was forced to bet it, I would just go under, hoping that Bayo is able to put together a decent start. But I agree with what mostly, or maybe Boston team total under if you're scared of Bayo getting rocked. But I'm not betting this, so this is a pass for me. Let's bring up Mr. Modai.
Well, I'm going the opposite of you. I have the over in this one. It's not my favorite pick of the day by any means. It would be closer to a pass than me putting my name on this. I like Grayson Rodriguez. I do think I think he's due for some slight regression. He's not horrible. Like even his expected stuff isn't horrible, but it's not like it's showing that he's been a little bit lucky. He's allowing a barrel rate of 8.4. That's like around bottom 30. Again, it's not terrible, but it's definitely not among the best. And a hard hit rate of 42%, which is roughly in the same category. This is mostly just backing the Orioles bats as well. There's like coming around against right-handed pitching like a couple weeks ago, and for a couple weeks they were terrible against righties, but that's not the case anymore. 10th best WRC+, 11th best WOBA, 11th best WRAA, 4th best ISO, which makes sense for the Orioles. 11th best OPS and 6th best slugging against righties over the last 2 weeks. So yeah, I think both pitchers get hit up a little bit. Again, it's not my favorite play of the day, but I went with the over.
All right. So yeah, I'm with you. This is a pass for me. I just put for the show. I was putting a bet up if I was forced to bet it. So I'm not against you at all. Toast.
I didn't bet this, but it'd be Boston money line for me or pass. The issue with I think that Grayson Rodriguez is going to pitch well. And the fact that, like Beaver said, his walk line is at 1.5 after 11, 12 walks his last 4 starts or whatever it was, gives me, I think that they both pitchers pitch well. So I would lean under as well. But I think this Boston team at this number is a little bit underrated as far as them on the road this year. Keep in mind, they're terrible at home, but they're much better on the road. Not to mention on the road, hitting wise, I mean, they're like a top 7 hitting team on the road. Again, I'm not going to bet it, especially the fact that they have, another thing that added with the Boston bet. They saw 5 guys out of the Baltimore bullpen yesterday, and then Kimbrel, Cano, and Columbi have all worked a lot over the last few days, while that Boston bullpen has nobody's moved. My issue, again, with the Boston bullpen is that now Kenley Jansen's being talked about getting traded. So I don't even know what to expect. Is he available? Are they going to save him? I really don't know. There's too many variables with Boston, but it'd be Boston or pass. But yeah.
So we're all over this place. There's a Baltimore graphic, an over, and under, a Boston. You're welcome for the insight, guys.
I wanted to play first 5 under 4.5, but it's like super juicy now. And so, yeah, that was kind of like my original.
Toast, I put you up first for this next one because we're on the same bet. I saw your ticket on the website. We both got the Reds.
Yep.
So
Beaver's on the Reds too.
Are you Prop Beaver? Oh, shit.
He's on for 5. Yeah.
Oh, first 5? Okay. But I like the advantage for the Reds late too. I think all those arms are going to be available even though they are taxed. But anyway, yeah, so as you just heard, why does this graphic keep getting huge? As you just heard me say, I'm on the Reds with these guys, and this is all separate. I didn't know either of these guys were on the Reds when I posted that. So we all arrived at the same destination separately. So first off, I don't think I even need to explain to you how we have the starting pitching advantage here. I mean, it's Abbott versus Gibson, and in the fact that the game's in Great American Ballpark. Abbott's been good at home. Gibson historically has been a fade on the road. The splits aren't really that significant this year, but you rewind 2 or 3 years, and Gibson's been a fade on the road. Reds, I'm not going to sit here and tell you the Reds bats are heating up or anything, but they're definitely not quite as bad as they were about 2-3 weeks ago. They're doing a little bit better job, and I know that's probably what's going to keep a lot of people off of the Reds here is they're going to look at these two teams and think, whoa, Kyle, the Cardinals have the huge hitting advantage here. And, yeah, that's probably true, but the fact that you throw in the fact that Abbott's a lefty, then all of a sudden I think that evens the playing field. In fact, I think the Reds might have the hitting advantage here. The Cardinals have not been getting to lefty starters at all. And Abbott has given us every reason to trust him. So I think Abbott's going to deal here. Reds, like I said, Gibson's a fade on the road, but I think they get some runs across on him. And then late in the game, I want to talk about a unit that's playing well, that's producing right now, that's flying under the radar. The Reds bullpen. They're dealing.
Yes.
And I know if you look at the usage, you know what? I could probably pull the usage up on the screen for those of you that are interested. It'll take 2 seconds. So you look at this usage, and when you first see it, this is probably why Prop Beavers, we'll hear from him in a second, Prop Beavers on the first 5 is when you look at this usage, right? 1 second, Cincinnati.
Can I say really quick? Every time I see Sam Mole, I think of naked mole rat with Beaver. That's all I see.
Keller.
So here's the Reds bullpen. You can see Diaz 2 of the last 3, Cruz 2 of the last 3, Sims threw 14 last night. Mole's probably out. This is the only guy I think's unavailable. These 3 guys, the main 3 guys, they're going to be available if the Reds need them. Mm-hmm. They're used, but they're going to be there if the Reds need them. So this Reds bullpen's been playing great. I'm willing to trust it. I'm on the Reds full game. I bet it. Cincinnati up.
Yeah, I'll just go really quickly because Beaver's a lot more detailed. He's going to sound better, but you're getting Andrew Abbott that's finally starting to get stretched out. We saw him at the beginning of the year only go 4, 5, 6 innings, and now his back-to-back starts where he went 7 innings plus, or at least 7 innings. That's a positive thing for me. You have Kyle Gibson, who I was actually trying to make a case for that he's not as bad as what My point is that Kyle Gibson was good earlier in the season. His last 2 starts, he's been starting to actually like 3 of his last 4, he's been starting to fall off a little bit. Not to mention the fact that we got this Cincinnati team that's finally starting to click a little bit with their bullpen pitching well. Abbott's going to go deep into this game. They just won 3 games against the Dodgers. And then I was thinking that yesterday, if there was going to be a letdown, would be a letdown yesterday, and they didn't have that. Another 3-1 win. Again, they're not scoring a whole bunch of runs, but they're preventing runs. I just have a hard time believing that St. Louis is going to score against Andrew Abbott. And keep in mind, too, the fact that I don't really like the spot for St. Louis because you had them off of a long win streak, and now they lost. I mean, now the air's out of the balloon. It's just not a spot that I like. So, I played the Reds money line, and I also played the Reds -1.5 for a small bet at +160.
Prop Beaver, I'm sure that we probably took a lot of what you were going to say. Modai's got to be the loudest typer on the planet.
Yeah,
Oh,
Modai,
sorry.
wow. Are you
thought that
typing
was
for
you.
the School of the Deaf? You want them to hear it too? Okay, so it's fine. So I'm going with the Cincinnati Reds on the first 5 money line. It's -130 now. A bit pricey, but I don't really give a crap. I'm not a big Abbott guy. Everybody knows that. I don't think he's very good at all whatsoever, but I don't really think you need to be good to pitch against the Cardinals if you throw with your left hand. Take out the Reed Detmer start, a guy who's been Jordan Lyles-esque after a hot start to the season. And the last 8 lefties to face the Cardinals have combined for a 1.9 ERA, a 0.57 home run per 9, and a 0.80 whip. I mean, your home run per 9 and whip aren't even above 0.8 in the last 8 lefties you've seen. That is horrible. They're showcasing zero power or ability to get on base since April 23rd. They're 27th in WRC+, 25th in ISO, and 28th in OBP against lefties. Imagine if those ranks didn't include the only good game they had against a lefty. Abbott's a guy who, while I don't like him, he's performed significantly better at night thus far. The numbers are much better. And while he may not be getting Ks at a high level or ground balls at a high rate, the one thing I will give him is that he's limiting hard contact. So he does have a redeeming quality to him there. And opposite him is Kyle Gibson. Toes touched on it. Major regression candidate. I mean, everything. The 11.4 barrel rate, the 43 hard hit rate, the 5.54 xERA. I don't think Kyle Gibson's a very good pitcher at this point in his career, unfortunately. I think we've seen the best of Mr. Kyle Gibson, and he struggled a lot more against lefties and at night. This is a night start against a line that starts 6 lefties, and we're starting to see the Reds show somewhat signs of life lately against righties. Gibson has seen the Reds twice in 2022, got smoked by them both times. Current lineup still owns a 911 OPS against them. So, we'll take my chances here. The reason I'm not playing the full game is because the Cardinals are bullpen killers, and I don't want to deal with that. I respect the Reds bullpen, but Cardinals are doing some serious damage late innings, and the Reds are doing nothing in the late innings.
All right, Modai's going to take a break from typing with a tack hammer to give us his bet.
The School for Death or for the Deaf. Oh, that was funny. I'm kind of backing Kyle Gibson not to have a good game, but over 4.5 strikeouts is what I got it at, -104. This is really just a fade of the Reds, specifically from a strikeout perspective. They're tied with the highest strikeout rate against right-handed pitching over the last 2 weeks, 28.3%. I say this on every show, but Fangraphs considers anything that's 27.5% awful, and that's the worst rating that they give. The Reds are only one of 4 teams with an awful strikeout rate over the last 2 weeks. And if you look at their lineup, they have 4 guys who strike out over 27.5% of the time. Again, that's the awful number. And then another guy that's right below that at basically 26%. I'm definitely not going to sit here and tell you that Kyle Gibson's an elite pitcher who has elite strikeout stuff or spin rate or anything like that. He has gone over this number in 4 of his 10 starts. 2 of them that he went under, he had exactly 4, which obviously you're going to get hooked with these lower numbers, just to show you that the floor is kind of there. And different season, but the last 2 games against the Reds, he did go over this number. Granted, it's not perfect going back to last year or the year before. But yeah, so Kyle Gibson over 4.5 Ks, that's where I went.
Someone said someone called your Funko Props aggressive.
I saw that.
Yeah, the comments
I don't know how a Funko
today.
Pop collection can be aggressive, but I guess they are.
It's aggressive. All right, so 62%, 28% Cincinnati. Community's with us on the Reds. We're a Reds program. I got it at -126. That's called CLV. What's up?
Also, if you guys want your props, you already know Jake Fraley over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI. 8 at bats against Kyle Gibson in his career, 2.321 OPS. Dude absolutely slaughters it. And oh, by the way, Jake Fraley's on a 1, 2, 3 game hitting streak as well. So Jake Fraley over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. You already know.
Jake Fraley over 1.5 HRR.
Been a while. It's been a while.
Toast,
Yeah.
I saw you had a bet on this game, and I'm on the same side. I'm not betting it, though. I'm not laying that price, but I agree with the side you're on. I just won't play. Well, I'm not going to lay that price for it. So go ahead. You're on the Tigers.
I'm getting, I just think that I paid my 146 for it. I don't know what it is now. Oh yeah, I definitely wouldn't be at the ones in the 160 range. I got it at 145 or 146. So yeah, a little bit different, but just Detroit playing really well right now. I understand that they had that lull against Kansas City, but after that, 3 wins against Toronto, I'll take that. Not to mention that we have Skubal here, who coming off of a start that's lackluster for him, where he gave up 6 hits and 4 runs on the road at Kansas City. I think that he bounces back here against this Pirates team that I don't think is very good. I know that they've played a crazy couple series against the Giants and the Braves. Winning and losing those games, I don't even want to get into it because the Pirates games over the last week have just been absolutely insane. Regardless if they're winning or losing. Is Jared Jones a really good young talent? 100% yes, but he's also been giving up at least 3 runs his last couple starts. On the road is not a spot that I like for him. I just think that this is a spot for the Tigers to really continue to keep winning. So again, I wouldn't play it at minus 160 or whatever it's at right now. Not a chance in hell. And I would actually play the first 5 over 3.5.
Yeah.
Now that
I brought this comment. See, you play the first 5 over.
Oh,
I brought this
100%.
comment up because I strongly almost bet this, the first 5 under, but 3.5 is low. But that's what I was thinking also, is that both these starting pitchers should deal. But I mean, I like the Tigers team across the board better. Obviously, Skubal at home, definitely an advantage over Jared Jones, who's the man, by the way, but we're talking about Skubal at home. So I think the Tigers win the game. I think Toast is on the right side here, but I didn't, you know what? I didn't look at this game till this morning. Maybe if I looked at it last night and there was like a minus 142 something available, maybe. But
Yeah.
to be honest, I think I would have. I think I would have passed.
Yeah, you're not usually the laying juice type of guy.
Yeah, I like minus 135. It's my comfort zone.
Yeah. I get that.
Mr. Modi, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was laughing because someone commented that my typing was me deleting my Karl Anthony Towns bet.
Now that's a good comment.
Yeah, that Shipley needed to shut up for that because that was hilarious. All right, for this one, I have another strikeout prop. There's like 4 strikeout props in a row. But Tariq Skubal over 7.5 strikeouts. I love this guy. He's a stud. He's electric. I think this is just going to be a good game in general with him and Jared Jones. But I decided to obviously go with Skubal as my official play. So the Pirates team strikeout rate against lefties isn't quite the worst rating that Fangraphs gives. Not quite in the awful category, but it's close at 26.7%. And that's the 5th worst, the 5th highest strikeout rate over the last 2 weeks. If you look at the entire season, they have the 3rd highest strikeout rate against left-handed pitching. So it's not like they've been like only bad the last 2 weeks or anything like that. They have 5 dudes in their lineup who strike out over 30% of the time against lefties over the last 2 weeks. And like some of them are crazy. And obviously the lower sample size is going to create some of these wonky numbers. But like O'Neal Cruz, 46.7% strikeout rate against lefties over the last 2 weeks. Edward Olivares, 41.2%. And Skubal has elite, electric, nasty strikeout numbers. Strikeout rate, 31.2%. That's the 8th highest in the MLB as of right now. If you look at last year, that would have been the 2nd highest in the MLB. Swinging strike rate, that 14.5%. That's the 5th best in the MLB. The 4th best called strike plus whiff rate. The risk here and why this is a little bit scary is he's only gone over this number in 3 of his starts this year. But against this lineup with his strikeout stuff, I think he's going to hit the over for us.
7.5. That's a high number, but it's probably high for a reason. Prop Beaver. I don't think I saw a bet for you on this one.
Nah, I don't really have anything. Unfortunately, I would probably lean the opposite of Toast here. I would go with the Pirates or pass.
You would fade Scooby.
Yeah. I think Scooby's a bit overvalued. I think Jared Jones is putting up.
Mackenzie
numbers
Gore's
that are
the man.
similar.
Mackenzie Gore's the
He
man,
is
but
the man.
Skubal sucks. That's what you're saying?
Not what I said at all. As a non-ball knower, you just spew things every day. Try to smear my name. You're disgusting. You're a pig. Okay. So yeah. I mean, in this case, I mean, we got the Pirates who are actually hitting lefties at a pretty decent rate right now. I know Skubal's a god, but they are hitting lefties at a pretty decent rate right now. The Tigers against righties don't really impress me, especially at home. They've been hitting righties on the road, but at home, not so much. The only righty they hit is Alek Manoah, who I was saying going into that start, let's not forget that Alek Manoah on the road is a gas can. The dude's not a good pitcher on the road. At home, say what you want. He's not a good pitcher on the road. We'll be fading that guy every time out from here on out after those 2 bad road starts against the Nats and the Tigers. That is horrible. So in my personal opinion, yeah, I would take the plus money here because I think Jared Jones is while not as good as Skubal yet, could be as good as Skubal very soon. And I think that the bullpen, obviously the Pirates has really sucked lately, but I've seen the Tigers blow their fair share of leads lately. I'm not all too sold on that Tigers bullpen either, so I would take the plus money here.
Someone just pointed out that you can actually get a minus 145 for the Tigers on Caesars, so that price isn't completely gone. But I have 5 bets on those. So.
If you can get 145 on Caesars, I wouldn't tail my Tigers bet. If I'm dead honest, if I'm being dead honest, if that line's not moving on Caesars, that's probably not a good sign. If I'm being honest.
Oakland on the road at Tampa, minus 175 for the Rays at home. Totals at 7.5. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Modi and Prop Beaver both have Littell bets in this game. You guys, I don't know if you're on the same.
Bet, Modi?
What'd you say?
You have a Littell bet, right, Matt Modi?
What'd you bet, King?
I had the over strikeouts.
Oh, so do I. Okay. It has moved to 6.5 now, pretty much. The 5.5 is at minus 155. So what we posted today is a bit, it has moved a bit, but I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. If you want to take a half unit still, I put this up as a 0.75 unit play. If you want to put a half unit on Liddell at over 6.5 Ks at plus 150, in my personal opinion, you go right ahead. This Oakland lineup right now is striking out at an ungodly rate. They had a bit of a stretch where they were able to keep it together. They started off the season as K over machines. Then they had a nice stretch where they were practicing some really good plate discipline. But as of late, it has been all overs. We've now seen the last 10 to 12 righties to face them to hit 6+ Ks. A wide majority of those guys also hit 7+ Ks, averaging 7.4. And since May 11th, which is about a little over 2 weeks now, Oakland is dead last in K percentage against righties at 28.4%. And that mark jumps to 33.1%, also dead last through the first 5 innings. And then on top of that, we got Littell, who is 6-4 to the over this season. Well, actually, no, let me go ahead and, he is 6-4 to the over this season. And almost every time he's hit it at home, he's hit the 7 anyways. I believe 4 of his 5 home cashes have come at 7 rather than 6 anyways. And we're seeing a near 7% increase in K percentage at home. He's facing a lineup with 6 righties in it. He also sees a nice increase in K percentage against righties. At home versus righties this season, 30% K to BB rate and a 2.2 xFIP. That is flat out elite. So I think that he could get the job done here. Sorry I didn't do as good as the explanation because the line move kind of throws my write-up off. But I think Littell's going to deal today. So if you want to put 6.5 plus 150 for a half unit like we did with Irvin and with Williams, just playing righties against the opponent no matter what due to the ridiculous line, I say you do so.
With that half-ass write-up, there's no way I'm tailing.
So I put Tampa Bay first 5 run line on the screen because that would be my bet in this game. But I have 5 bets on my ticket. This would be the 6th if I was to add one more. I agree with these guys that I like the spot for Littell. Oakland hasn't been hitting at all on the road. At home, Oakland can get some runs across, but on the road, you just can't count on this lineup to get to righty. I think Littell absolutely deals. The problem is the reason that it's left off my ticket, and somebody said it in the comments. I mean, it's really tough to rely on the Tampa Bats right now, even against the guy named Mitch Spence. That sounds like a made-up name. So this is where I would go in this game. I would lay the half run in the first 5 with Tampa because I think all we would need is 2 runs from the Rays, and this should cash. So Rays first 5 run line or pass for me. Toast?
It would be Oakland or pass for me, but I have 0 interest in betting this game. But the Rays at minus 175 is an absolute joke. Mitch Spence on the road, his 1 start on the road this year, went on the road to Kansas City, went 4 2/3, 5 hits and a run. Nothing terrible. had a home start against the Rockies where he gave up 5 hits and 3 runs. Again, I can't trust Oakland to score runs, especially against Littell, who's one of Tampa Bay's better pitchers. But there's no way in hell I'd lay juice with Tampa Bay. I stand firm on that. I've been saying that for about a month now, and I stand firm on that. So if Oakland just had a little bit of signs of life, I would do it. They had a 10-run game against Colorado, and besides that, over their last 10 games, they haven't done anything. They had their other game against Colorado. They had 5 runs. They scored 1 run through the first 6 or 7 innings. They got a couple off that Colorado tax bullpen. So it's just really hard to see me to trust Oakland to score. So it's a pass for me.
I will say, to Kyle's point about his bet, just wanted to add this real quick. The A's have been, when they have been scoring, it's all been coming off the bullpen. They're doing nothing against starting right-handed pitching right now. I
wrote this down too. If this is if you're looking to get crazy, if you see the Rays up 2-0 after 5 innings, this might be worth a live money line. I mean, it's probably going to be like plus 480 or something. But if Oakland's within range in the 5th inning and you're trying to take a shot, or I mean, maybe if it's 3-0 Rays, you catch like a nice juicy Oakland plus 2.5 live. Because the second half of the game, no question, not only, like Prop Beaver says, Oakland's been hitting off bullpens, but Oakland's bullpen is way better. So they just have the advantage in the second half.
Oakland versus bullpens last 7 days, we're going WRC plus OPS WOBA 233. Last 14 days 588. Last 30 days 333. They are absolutely slaughtering.
This is a top 5 lineup from the 6th inning on. This is a top 5 lineup, as wild as that is to say.
Yeah. So, and not to mention that Rays bullpen is pissed, but they have been a little bit better. So I'm kind of cutting.
Yeah, they're not completely off, but it's still not as good as Oakland's bullpen.
Correct. So I'm cutting them a little bit of slack. God, now I kind of want to play Oakland.
Okay, I got something for you guys. I got a little long shot for the viewers here. Double result: Tampa Bay first 5, Oakland full game plus 1,300. I'm gonna put 5
plus 1,300.
13's my lucky number. 13's my lucky number. What book? What book?
DraftKings.
All right.
1,300 is crazy. DraftKings. Oh, you could probably bet $1.
So Rays first 5, Oakland full game. I mean, there's a reason it's plus 1,300. It's a very unlikely outcome.
Yeah,
I like it. I think in this spot it's better than plus 1,300.
I might even like the bet. I'm just saying, like, it's plus 1,300 for a reason. It's very unlikely to happen.
Yes.
Washington at Atlanta. I have Modai up first because I believe you have a dong in this game.
I don't.
Oh,
I don't know.
Do you have a bet in this game?
I do have a bet. I don't have a. I unfortunately do not have a dong. I'm dongless for this game. I have 3 today, just not in this one. I have Max Fried over 18.5 outs. It's plus 112 plus money because obviously you're getting over the key number of 17.5. This is probably super square because he just had a complete game against the Cubs, but Nats can hit lefties, so I like for him to once again go over 6 innings, cash this for us. So Nats 6th worst bats against lefties in terms of WRC plus, 7th worst WOBA, 9th worst WRAA, 3rd worst ISO, 7th worst OPS, 6th worst WOBA. So they're not like the literal worst in the MLB. I might have said NBA accidentally in the MLB, but they're definitely not good either. Fried's been awesome this year. Like, he got shelled in his first start against the Phillies, but he's gone over 6 innings in 5 of his last 8 starts, 4 of his last 6. And they let him pitch. Like, they don't cap him at 80, 85, 90 pitches. Like, he's thrown over 100 pitches in 4 of his last 5 starts. And the complete game last start, he threw 105. Good advanced stats show he's gotten a little bit, showing that he's gotten a little, slightly unlucky this year. Like, his xERA and xFIP are both pretty decently better than his ERA and FIP. Also allows a super low barrel rate, low hard hit rate, all that stuff. So yeah, I like for him to get over 18.5 outs.
I probably would go, if I didn't bet this game. If I was to bet it, I would probably go. Damn, this graphic keeps. I gotta fix that. But if I was to bet this, I would probably go here with it, under or pass. But I didn't bet this game, so I won't waste your time talking about it. Mr. Prop Beaver?
We got a walks prop, people. We started out with the Walkaroos, and it's been a bit of a cold ride lately, but I'm looking for redemption here. I've been going 2 square with the walk props. That's what it is. We're getting a little sharp today. We're taking precisely. You know me. When I put my sharp shoes on, I put my sharp shoes on, we're at our best. On the surface, we got Max Fried. He's over his last 4 or 5 starts, averaging 2.2 walks per game. Before recording 0 walks last game, he had 3. I think in 3 consecutive starts. So why do we want to back this guy against a Nats offense that's 9th in walk rate against lefties through the first 5? Well, Fried is allergic to walking Nationals batters. In his last 8 starts against the team, he has combined to allow just 8 total walks. In their last 5 matchups, he has 2 total walks. Even the current lineup owns a 3.9 walk rate against Fried through 76 plate appearances. That's absurdly low. And through the small sample we have, his walk rate has been cut in half at home. On the road, he's 5-2 to the over, 10.2 BB percentage, 2.3 walks per game. At home, 2-1 to the under, averaging 1.3 walks, 5.1 BB percentage. And while the Nats are 9th in walk rate versus lefties through the first 5 on the season, they're 23rd in this category in the month of May, falling to 5.1%. We've seen the last 3 or 4 lefties face the Nats go under this number, averaging 1 BB and 1.4 walks per 9. I just think that coming off a 0 walk performance on the road, I like him to carry that momentum back into Truist and walk 1 or less Nats batters. The previous time he threw a complete game this season, he looked fine the next game, went under this line. No issues with command, so I'm hoping for the same thing here.
Someone said, Jesus Louise, not another Walkaroo. Here's the live footage of Sauce Network viewership when Prop Beaver talks about walk props. Free fall.
And then
Toast. Okay, how do you follow that up?
yeah, right? That's a tough spot.
Didn't he have 2 walks against Seattle after that 9-inning performance, though?
I thought when I had checked, his command was on point.
So,
Toast, you're taking over walks. You're taking over walks.
Taking the walk over? What a piece of shit. No, lay the juice.
Home run Mets. Lindor home run.
Dude,
Lindor
Mets. Home run. Also, I didn't play the Dodgers or anything. Dodgers 1 for 28 their last 29 plate appearances with runners in scoring position. Absolutely terrible.
Wow.
Yeah, Nats are pass. Can't play the Nats, though, for a couple reasons. Why? I think Jake Irvin is due to get hit up sooner or later. I love Jake Irvin. He's pitched really well for me this year, but he got hit up by the Braves last year. I understand it's not the same Braves team, but I think that it's only a matter of time before Mr. Irving gets hit up. On top of the fact that the Washington bullpen pretty taxed as well. Harvey, Finnegan, Floro, all 2 of the last 3 days. Law went 20 pitches yesterday. And then you have Max Fried on the other side, who obviously is a lefty. The Nats can't hit lefties very well. He is coming off of a 9-inning game. I don't love that. I'm praying that the Braves lose again, but there's no way I'm betting the Nats. Just can't do it. But yeah.
All right. Our poll is on the Nats. 53%, 33%, 54%, 34% on the Nats. So our community, as far as the viewers go, they like the Nats here. And I mean, at that price, it's kind of hard to argue with them the way the Braves are playing, but I didn't want to touch it. Prop Beaver, you ready for a razor sharp look here? I don't think
I got sharp shoes on.
I think I'm on the same boat as you.
No,
I play
you're
the
not
days
gonna
on
like
this
this.
game.
You're not gonna like this.
This is my favorite plays in this game.
So
And over?
no.
Okay.
So I have a bet on this game. It's not. I gave that a little bit of a setup. It's not one of my bigger bets. So everyone's probably like, "Oh shit, isn't that?" It's not. It's one of my smaller bets. Let me find my graphic. 1 second.
We're waiting. What is the sharp play?
It's razor sharp, bro. My play for the.
It's New York Rangers.
All right, you go
+140.
first, Rob Beaver, because my graphic's not ready.
This guy's really overdramatic
Just
here.
say your bet.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going with my guy Simeon Woods Richardson over 3.5 strikeouts here. I'm waiting to see what the actual price is on the creative character that we're betting on today. 1 second. So his strikeouts. It's at 3.5. You could still get -130 on Bet365, but if you want to get in on this, would rush to the window now. It seems all the books have juiced the shit out of this line as we're speaking right now. I like this. I'm not a SWR enthusiast, but I'm going to continue to fade KC against righties on the road, and I think that SWR may be undervalued in the K department. He started the season going over the line.
I'm sorry. Woods Richardson over 2.5.
No, so
No.
that's my play, Kyle. The one that I had to earn runs.
That's what Andy's going like this to me in the side. I was like, what is he talking about? So I put up Mode Eyes. You have his strikeouts. I'm sorry.
Yes. So SWR started off the season going over the line in his first 3 or 4 starts. He was averaging 5.3 Ks per game, but all of a sudden, the last 3 starts, he's only managed 5 combined Ks, averaging just 1.7 per game. But I think we should cut him a bit of slack there. All 3 of those games were on the road, and they were at Toronto, at Cleveland, and at Washington. Offenses that are extremely tough to strike out. The Royals are also extremely tough to strike out, second in K percentage against righties this season. But as we've been riding with and making money on the past week or so, the last 7 righties to face this team away from KC own a 29.1 K percentage. That is a massive 10% increase from their season-long ranks. And if that were to be ranked season-long, that would be dead last in the MLB. So I feel like there's some solid value to be had. And if we go back to 2022, SWR has made 9 starts with 7 of them coming this season. On the road, he's 1-5 to the over, averaging just 2.5 Ks and a 12.5 K rate. Pretty gross. But at home, he's 3-0 to the over. He's averaging 6.3 Ks per game and a 28% K rate. I feel like this should be minus 160 or bump to 4.5. So the minus 130 that's being offered on Bet365 right now, way too much value to pass up. Just going to keep fading the Royals bats on the road.
So Brad Beaver, we're actually kind of aligned then after listening to that.
I knew we would be, you freaking clown.
I know. You went first 5. I went full game. I freaking love the Twins today.
Wow. Okay, so I'll bring you up, Toast. Let me put mine up. I'm on Twins first 5 money line, and I got it at
plus 120.
Plus 120.
60. Yep. Love it.
Wow.
Love
I don't have a graphic for it, Andy.
Oh, weird.
Wow. What happened there?
Andy.
Super sharp play. You don't have a
Bring
graphic
it in,
for
Andy.
This guy made a whole fucking big ordeal about it, and it's not even a graphic.
It's not even a graphic for it. What a moron!
Work. Andy just got written up.
What a loser! All right, let's bring up Toast because Toast said he's on the same. I'd say I think Modai's the only one that's backing the Royals bats here, so he's on an island. Toast?
Yeah. I love Minnesota here today. First and foremost, we're getting Cole Reagans, a lefty, a side of the plate that the Twins are much better at as far as lefties versus righties. And now we have Cole Reagans, who hasn't given up a run in back-to-back starts. You know that's going to break. The Twins have already seen him before as well. On top of that, you got this, again, with the Royals team we know that doesn't hit well on the road, Simeon Woods Richardson. I mean, when is this guy? He's had 1 bad start this year against Toronto on the road. Everything else has been honestly fantastic. 4 2/3, no runs against Washington on the road at Cleveland, 5 1/3, 4 hits and a run. At home against Seattle, 6 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 8 strikeouts. I mean, everything he does, he's been pitching well. Has the competition been that great? No. But at the same time, the Royals that ranked on the road this year? Let's check this out. Last 14 days, Royals on the road, 18th in WRC+, 17th in OPS, 18th in WOBA. Full season, 26th, 24th, 26th. They're just not hitting on the road right now. I understand that the Twins aren't going to have Duran, but they're a closer by committee. So they're going to have Jax, Thebar, O'Kirk, Stallman, all those guys rested and ready to go. I think that the Royals got really lucky yesterday with a little bit of a bullpen blow up to score 4 or 5 runs to make it look even better. But I think they got smoked yesterday, and I think they might get smoked here today. So I'm on Twins money line for almost a full unit.
Yeah, I hate to shit on him while he's down, but it actually may benefit you that Duran could not participate in this game. He has
correct. I agree. I know it's been so bad.
And now for the only man that's backing the Twins bats, Matthew Bodai.
This is not going to make my list of one of my favorite plays. I mean, I'm kind of fading SWR in this one. Looked like he had that 1 bad start. He's only gone over this number in 1 of his 5. So I'm definitely not saying that he's been terrible. Like 4 or 5, he's gone under this number. I kind of see that and want to fade it. But just looking at his stats, like 2.57 ERA is great. Expected ERA 3.73 over a full 1 run higher. FIP 3.16, which is very good. XFIP of 4.335, just showing that he's gotten a little bit lucky. Barrel rate, he's allowing 8.3%. That's not among the worst, but it's below average. Hard hit rate 40.7%, same thing. Allowing an average exit velocity 89.2, basically the same category. It's not going to put him among the worst, but it's below average. And the Royals offense, looking at the last 2 weeks and the last week, starting to heat up a little bit. 9th best WRC plus against righties over the last 2 weeks. And over the last week, which I get is a tiny sample size, 7 days, but 4th best WRC plus. Again, it's going to be scary because he's only gone over this in 1 of his 5 starts this year, but I actually think this should be plus 120, not minus 120. Just to be clear, I think that's my fault. I wrote down the graphic wrong. That's part of the reason why I was on it was because it's a plus money play. So you're paying for the fact that he's only gone over in 1 of 5.
All right, let's move on to the next one, which is clear the board here. The next game is Blue Jays, White Sox, and Toast, I put you up, but I think all 4 of us are passing on this game. I couldn't find one of you guys with a pick on this game.
Oh, I bet the White Sox. You can put that up for me.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. I sent it out and everything.
I sent it out and everything.
I'm dead serious.
I sent it out and everything.
I sent it out and everything.
So you're on the White Sox. Good Lord. All right, go ahead.
Pure play on the number for me. I don't care if it's Jake Woodward, Mike Clevenger, or AJ Bascone starting for the White Sox today. In no world should the Toronto Blue Jays be essentially minus 200 or plus favorites against anybody. I understand that Jake Woodward hasn't pitched in Major League Baseball this year. I don't really know what to expect from him, but I know that you really can't trust this Toronto team. I know that they've had some offensive explosions the last 10 games, I guess I can say, but I don't trust that at all. Not to mention Kevin Gausman. I mean, he's been better since the start of the year, but he's just not a guy that I trust. Again, I know that no one's going to tail me on this, but this Toronto bullpen has been bad. Not to mention the fact that most of their middle relievers went yesterday. So you're only going to have to worry about Romano and Garcia like super late in the game. Again, it's gross, yeah, but it's just a pure play on the number for me. So I'm taking the White Sox. I think I got it at plus 189, but yeah, or 184, excuse me.
Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing that Shit Pants is not pitching in this game and got
probably better? I'll take my chances with Woodward.
Yeah.
Shit Pants? That's what you call Clevenger?
I mean, have you seen his approach by pitch to pitch basis?
Shit Pants.
Literally looks like he's shitting himself. the ump every 5 seconds, like, you want to go to the bathroom? He's like, no, dude, I'm pitching. It's like, okay. Well, don't know what you're doing.
That's funny.
Freaking out the fans.
Modi, I'm assuming this Gausman strikeout props is yours.
Yeah, this is another one that's not my favorite. I also laughed at a comment that said, Modi, how tall are you? You explain things like you're short, which I don't know how someone can explain things like you're short, but I thought that was hilarious.
Now, they say that shit to me too, and I'm like 6'3", so it's whatever.
I'm not 6'3". I'm 6 feet exactly.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But you explain
that means he's really like 5'11".
No, see, that's not true. Everybody thinks that. I should just tell people I'm 6 foot and
But
a
you
half,
explain
so
things like you're short, though.
Correct. Yes, that's correct.
All right, go ahead.
Anyways, yeah, again, this isn't one of my favorite ones. And it's definitely going to be scary. Gausman hasn't been nearly as good as this year and basically the last 5 years in terms of his strikeout rate. Again, it's why we're getting plus 125 odds. But I mentioned that there are 4 teams that are striking out at defined awful rate, according to Fangraphs. The White Sox are one of the 4. They have the 3rd worst strikeout rate in the MLB against righties over the last 2 weeks, 27.8%. And they're one of the teams that has been worse with strikeouts recently than they were on the year. Like, if you look at the entire season, they're middle of the pack, I think 14th in terms of strikeout rate. Now they're like literally the 3rd worst. And I mean, that's kind of how baseball goes. Like, what happened 7 weeks ago isn't super helpful. And just look at their lineup. Like, they have 5 guys in your lineup that strike out 27.5% or worse. 4 of them are 4 of the 5 are 30% or worse in terms of strikeout rate. And they also have the worst WRC plus against right-handed pitching over the last 2 weeks. So maybe Gausman will be able to go a little bit deeper into the game. We'll see. It's a number he's gone over in 2 of his 10 starts this year, which is not good. But the 2 that he did were in his last 4. So he's gone over in 2 of his last 4 after starting 0 of 6. And in both games he went under, he had exactly 6. So the floor has been there. And his last start struck out 10 Tigers. So hopefully he's starting on a hot streak. But yeah, I mean, you're getting plus 125 odds. So that's where I went.
It's a pretty good analysis for a short man. So he's on Gausman strikeouts. Let's go on to the next game, which is Cubs Brewers. And this one sucks because I looked at it and everything points towards the Brewers, but I'm not going to lay minus 160. So I'm just going to put a Brewers money line graphic up for me because that's the only way I would do it, but I'm not betting this one.
Yeah, this one broke my heart yesterday.
Modi, I have you up first. Does that mean you have a Brewers prop?
Yeah, I took the first half under 4 minus 105. I like both starting pitchers. They're not the best in the MLB, but they're decent. I like Ben Brown, 3.2 ERA, 2.65 FIP, 3.56 expected FIP. I will admit his barrel and hard hit rate are higher than what you would like. Same thing is true for Freddie Peralta, but 3.39 Sierra, and then Peralta 3.83 xERA, which is a little bit like, it's not fantastic, but it's above average, and a FIP and xFIP of 3.26. Again, similar to Ben Brown barrel rate. It's a little bit higher than you would want, but he has a pretty decent low hard hit rate of 34.6%, low Sierra as well. So first half under.
First 5 under 4 for Modi. Prop Beaver, I'm pretty sure you do not have a bet in this one.
Yeah, this is a complete pass for me.
It's Brewer. Like, I would love to bet the Brewers, but minus 162.
Yeah, and even then, it's like Freddie Peralta's looked shaky.
No, the Cubs bats are so cold, though.
I have seen Freddie Peralta wake up some pretty shitty lineups as long as they're in his division. He does not really pitch well against his division.
Just brought them back from the dead.
Yeah, it's not like it's important for you to win to get a nice seeding in the playoffs. But yeah, Freddie Peralta does not pitch well against his division, so don't like this one. Pass.
Let's see what Toast thinks.
Yeah, it's Cubs or pass. I couldn't bet it because yesterday the Cubs broke my heart. Everything happened the way I wanted it to. Steele shoved just like I thought he would, and the world got paid with the bullpen blow up. And the issue is I can't bet the Cubs now because now Mark Leiter Jr.'s went 2 of the last 3 nights, and Wesneski, who's been one of their better arms too, got hit up last night as well. There's no way in hell I trust Freddie Peralta or Milwaukee at this price right now. Not to mention the fact his last 2 starts against the Cubs, 5 innings each time. He's given up 3 runs on each of them. I mean, Ben Brown, he's made 4 of his 5 starts on the road this year. Mets, Boston, Arizona, San Diego. He's been decent. Boston got to him. That's Fenway Park. It is what it is. The Brewers haven't done anything the last couple of days. They scored 1 run against Boston, and then yesterday they didn't do diddly poo until they scored 5 runs in the 8th inning for the bullpen blowout. So I'm not at a point where I'm trusting Milwaukee to score runs right now either. So it's Cubs or pass at this number, but like I said, they broke my heart yesterday, so I just can't get there today.
Polls all over the Brewers, 73%. Yeah, I'm not betting this.
I want to bet the Cubs so fucking bad.
Let's talk Snakes baseball.
Yeah, I did bet them.
All right, Snakes. You bet the Snakes here?
Yeah.
8.5 under 8.5. All right, you have the floor, sir.
Yeah, Brandon Pfaadt, a guy that not like one of my favorite guys, but a guy I do trust on the road. Not to mention this Rangers team embarrassed him last year on the road in Texas. He went 4 innings, gave up 9 hits on 7 runs, gave up 4 home runs. The dude had given up 1 home run in his last 4 starts. So if Texas bats somehow magically wake up when they haven't done anything in a month, so be it. I'm Dane Dunning. That's who I have down as their Texas starter. Average, nothing really spectacular about it. But again, I'm just going to continue to fade this Rangers team that has, again, I keep on preaching this, been playing terrible for a long time now. 13-17 their last 30, 7-13 their last 20, 3-7 their last 10. They're not a very good baseball team. They're being priced like they are. I think this is a steal with Arizona with Pfaadt and a rested bullpen behind them. Arizona is playing better right now. I know they had a couple stinkers against Miami. It is what it is. But going back to on the road, Arizona on the road, 7-3 their last 10 on the road. Pfaadt and a full bullpen at a short price. I'm all over the Snakes.
Someone's saying, yeah, it's Eovaldi's pitching for the Rangers now.
What? That's quite a dramatic pitching change.
Never mind. Unless Action Network's wrong. But maybe I should.
No. If Action Network says,
let me. I know that he was close to return. Not Eovaldi on RotoWire too.
I'm good.
Yep.
I'm still good with that. I don't care.
It's his first start back. I knew that he was on the verge. He was actually slated to pitch Sunday, so I knew he was close. I
thought that's what he was doing. I thought we were going to see him in the next couple of days.
I do have a bet in this game, but I guess I don't have a graphic for it. And now that it's not Dane Dunning, I don't know if it'll get voided. I forget what book I even put it But the bet I placed is first 5 under 4.5. Toast just gave a lot of reasons why you could trust Brandon Pfaadt here against a Rangers lineup that isn't hitting. But also, I mean, Arizona's not really hitting either. And my original reasoning was Dane Dunning, his problems in recent starts is that he's not going deep into games. He's not necessarily pitching terribly. Well, if I'm sticking in the first 5, I'm good then. I don't need him to pitch into the 6th inning. So I like the first 5 under. I have it bet now that it's Eovaldi pitching. I don't know if it gets voided. We'll see. But, yeah, the first 5 under was my lean here. No, not my lean. I bet it.
And just for I'm going to look. I can't remember what book I used either, but I still will bet them. I will say Eovaldi been decent at home his last 3 starts, but they have been against Oakland, Cincinnati, and Washington. So kind of take that with a grain of salt. But, yeah, I'm still going to be on the stakes either way.
And the line moved dramatically too. But that's most likely because of the pitching change. Eovaldi's a beast. I mean,
okay. Yeah, perfect. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to get a better number now.
You're going to get plus 110 with Arizona.
Right, even better. All right. Yep.
Prop Beaver?
Beaver
hates pitching changes.
I know he does.
Yeah, I do. It grinds my gears. Straight pass on this one. I didn't really have the fondest of I guess bets in this one going into it. I don't really have an idea. I mean, Brandon Pfaadt, I really do like, but he just keeps facing these lefty-heavy lineups. I mean, Jesus Christ, could we get him against some righties? Texas starts, I think, 6 or 7 lefties daily, and it's not that his actual, his xFIP and stuff suggests that he's just as good against lefties as righties, but this dude cannot catch a break in terms of BABIP luck against lefties, and he's going to see a ton of them today. On top of that, that was his first start last year at Texas. Maybe he has some PTSD. One could review it as revenge spot. One could review it as PTSD spot. So I'm just going to pass there.
Modi?
Same. No, I
passed.
I passed. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next game. And I ran a second poll. That was Arizona at the plus money. People seem to be voting the Diamondbacks at both prices. So I think our community is on the Snakes here. Next up, Cleveland, Colorado. The Guards, minus 135 now. Well, that's what the graphic says. That's what it was before.
Can't believe I should have bet Colorado yesterday. I freaking called that shit.
Yeah. That being
Rockies
said,
whisper.
this is a Cleveland spot, and I'm on the Guardians here. Let me put it up.
Tristan McKenzie and Coors?
Yep.
I know. That's just, I don't know.
The thing is, Tristan McKenzie's so much better against righties. I wanted to take his K under today, but he's so much better against righties, and this Rockies lineup started 7 of them. To the point where
I know, only Blackman and McMahon are lefties.
Yeah, it's like, Jesus Christ. Well, maybe he can actually have a good start here.
And not to mention, Tristan McKenzie coming off his first shaky start in like a month. He was pitching so well up until that Mets game. Perfect bounce back spot for him against the Rockies team that hasn't been hitting right-handed pitching. I know if you look at some numbers, it might look like they have been a little bit. But look at the WRC plus that's adjusted for the ballparks they play in. 26, 27, 28. This isn't a lineup you could consistently rely on. Tristan McKenzie, love the spot for him to bounce back. Feltner, I mean, do you even need Feltner? That's all I need to say, right?
He's having a tough time.
He's struggling, to put it delicately.
Yeah.
Feltner's having a hard time.
Yeah.
So I got the pitching advantage. As far as the bats, I'm not huge on the Cleveland bats right now. I think Cleveland's lineup might be slightly overvalued, but they're hitting, and so I feel I have the lineup advantage. Cleveland's bullpen was really taxed yesterday. Still a little bit taxed, but they got their main arms back. The price is definitely a little sketchy, definitely on the square side, but I got Cleveland at minus 130, and I'm pretty confident. I'm confident that I'm on the right side here. Modi?
Yeah, we got a dong on this one, Jose Ramirez. It's been a couple days since he's hit one, but he did have that crazy bench prior to that. 6 home runs in his last 14 days. And like everything across the board, every number that I look at for him is phenomenal for home runs. It's the stuff I look at the most: ISO rate and barrel rate. ISO rate 46.9%. That's the third best in the MLB over the last 2 weeks. Barrel rate of 14.3%, just below the excellent threshold. It's still great, which is good enough. And then fly ball rate, 61.9%. That's the 5th highest in the MLB over the last 2 weeks. His launch angle, which obviously is very highly correlated to fly
people
ball
are
rate.
saying this plus 410 price is wrong. Did we make the graphic wrong?
That's what I got. So it must have gotten nuked since then. I can see what it was. Plus 410 at Caesars when I checked.
I'll pull it up now.
It's plus 420 at Caesars now, so it's wrong in a good way.
So I don't. What is everyone freaking out about it?
Unless the website I'm looking at is wrong, but it's plus 420 on Caesars.
Oh, sorry about that, Matt. My bad, Matt.
No, all good. No, all good. No problem. Launch angle 25.4, which is awesome. Like the sweet spot for launch angle is between 25 and 35 degrees. Basically, every time it makes contact, it's in the sweet spot for where it should be for a home run. Pull rate 57%. That's phenomenal. 11th highest in the MLB. Obviously, it makes sense. Someone that's hit 6 home runs in the last 2 weeks has awesome home run numbers. But like across the board, everything you're looking for. Also playing at Coors Field, so you get the ball in the air. It's just going to carry farther than normal. Home run, Jose Ramirez.
J-Ram homer. Oh, what happened to my poll? What happened to my poll? Pause.
No.
Oh my God. I'm so sick of hearing that shit.
Hold on.
Pause.
Not
We're back. What happened to my poll? All right. Toast was shaking his head. He wants to bet the Rockies. I could tell by the way he was looking at me when I was talking.
really want to bet the Rockies.
Do it then.
Thinking about it. I don't need your help though. You can probably push me a little bit if you keep talking. It might get me there just because it might get me angry.
I don't care what you do. You want to place a losing bet, then place it.
I might. I'm just not having a bit there. Has Feltner been? I actually think Ryan Feltner's been pitching well over his last 3 starts. On the road at Oakland, 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs. On the road at San Francisco, he got hit up a little bit, and then at home against Texas, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. I mean, it's not absolutely terrible. On the road in Pittsburgh, he got hit up in Miami and stuff. But yeah, I mean, he pitched well against Cleveland last year. On the road, he went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits and a run. Tristan McKenzie, I mean, he's a little bit vulnerable on the road. I think this number's kind of telling. It feels kind of trappy to me. It just feels the same way as yesterday. Not to mention you got Cleveland off of like a 9-game win streak. They lost again. Like I said this time and time before, the air is out of the balloon. This Rockies team continues to find ways.
Look at that Rockies bullpen.
Regardless of what's in the Rockies bullpen, they figure out freaking ways to win games. That hasn't changed since yesterday, the day before that, or 3 games before that. And they're still finding ways to win games. So it'd be Rockies or pass. I did not bet it.
Prop Beaver, tell him he's being foolish.
Rockies first 5 money line or pass.
Oh!
That's the only way I lean in this game. I agree with Toast that the line is very telling. I mean, why on earth would the Rockies be short dogs to Mr. Tristan McKenzie and the almighty Guardians here? I mean, what the hell is this price? Why wouldn't it be minus 155, minus 160, minus 135? They're making it very affordable to get this red-hot Cleveland team. They look like absolute dog shit yesterday against this inferior pitcher. Now we got Ryan Feltner on the mound who, yes, his surface level numbers are absolute piss, but he's one of those guys that if you look at everything else, you look at the peripherals, he is a solid arm. He did dominate them last year. Now he's going to be at home where he's performed significantly better thus far despite the rough hitting conditions. Rough pitching conditions. So I think minus 105 through the first 5, that would be the move for me here. Am I locking it in? Absolutely not.
Smart move.
That'd be the only way I lean here.
Cleveland comfortably. Next. Yanks Angels.
We all 3 bet this, and we didn't talk to each other. It's so funny.
Oh, you guys are on them too?
Oh, yeah. Everybody's on the same thing. Well, kind of.
All right. Well, I guess you guys are. I know we're about to see a lot of Halos graphics then. I didn't even know that. All right. So, I'll go first. I don't know. Toast said kind of, so I guess he might be having like first 5 or something.
I did first 5 and then team totals.
Oh, okay. So I just played the money line. Took a shot with the Angels. I got it at plus 160. Let me just start by saying this is a high risk bet. It's a plus 160, plus 152. So if you're tailing, please have a backbone about it. It's like if you're tailing, just know it's risky. That's why it pays out a lot. But I actually think this is a nice little spot for the Angels. First of all, you got Nestor Cortez pitching on the road where we know he's definitely more vulnerable. You can fade Nestor Cortez on the road. I'm a Nestor Cortez guy. I like him. But I like him a lot more in Yankee Stadium. Here he is on the road, and not only on the road, across the country against a team that is annihilating lefties. The Angels have been crushing lefty starters. This is a really, really rough spot for Nestor Cortez. So I think the Angels get runs on him the same way they've gotten to like the last 7 lefty starters they've seen. So it's a really rough spot for Cortez. That's number 1. Now, number 2, everyone's looking at Griffin Canning against the Yankees lineup, and like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, Canning's going to deal, because that'd be just crazy. But Griffin Canning hasn't been that bad. He's had some nice-looking home starts, and Griffin Canning actually has great numbers against righty bats. Mm-hmm. Excellent numbers against righties. This is a very righty-heavy Yankees lineup. In fact, other than Soto, I mean, I guess Verdugo is
the only one you got to worry about. Yes. I don't think you worry about Rizzo, and if Austin Wells beats you, so be it.
He's not in the lineup, Austin Wells.
Yes, he is.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he is. He's batting 8th.
Unless they just changed it.
He is in the lineup.
It's a lefty. Or, I'm sorry, it's a righty. He's going to be in there. Because Trevino, I think they're giving Trevino a night off or something.
You don't need to see because it's correct.
So he wasn't in the lineup when I looked this morning. But anyway, so yeah, the Yankees a very righty-heavy lineup, and Griffin Canning has really not just like, oh, he's got decent-looking numbers against righties. He's got great numbers against righties. It's his numbers against lefties that are concerning. So I think it's worth a shot at the price. Angels up.
Since I'm up, just to give a little bit of numbers to Sauce's lefties versus righties. Griffin Canning WOBA against lefties this season, 399. His WOBA against righties, 267. The whip is where it comes into play. 1.71 whip against lefties, 0.96 whip against righties. So I played Angels first 5 money line, and then I played both team totals over 1.5 in the first 5, 3.5 in the full game. I'm not going to say much because Beaver's going to be able to illustrate it much better than me. And the reason I play this is because Beaver put me onto the Angels versus lefties. So Beaver, go ahead and just take it away.
All right, let's bring up prop Beaver.
Yeah, I'm back in the Angels 2 ways today. Will always do so against a lefty until they give me a reason not to. I took the first 5 team total over 1.5 at -110. I don't even remotely understand that line. That's insane to me. And then Nestor Cortez under 17.5 outs at +105. I had to literally do a double take when I saw these lines. It's so dumb to me. It makes no sense. I mean, maybe they're going to cook me tonight and prove me wrong, but they're pricing this like Nestor Cortez, who dominated this Angels team at home the last 2 seasons. That's the past. I mean, if we look at the present, this Angels team against lefties is absurd. Last 7 to face them, 8.47 ERA, 2.7 home run per 9, 1.76 whip. 8 to 10 lefties to face the Angels this season have gone under 17.5 outs, and one of those overs was Cole Reagan, who allowed 7 runs. 99% of pitchers don't make it through 6 innings, giving up that damage, and I don't think Cortez will either. The Angels have cashed the first 5 team total in 7 straight against a starting left-handed pitcher, averaging 4.1 runs per game. That's why -110 for 1.5 is insane to me. On top of that, Cortez has been awesome at home. I've been saying it. Cortez at home is, in my eyes, unfadable. On the road, he's extremely fadeable. 6.75 ERA, 3.79 WOBA, a 1.62 whip, and a 5.18 FIP. He's gone under the outside in 4 or 5 road starts, averaging 15.2, and his opponent has gone over the first 5 team total in all 5 road starts, averaging 3.8. 9 to 10 lefties to face the Angels this season have allowed 3+ runs, with just 2+ earned runs allowed on the road. Cortez is under 17.5 outs in 13 to 16 road starts since 2022, averaging just 14.8. If you're going to price road Cortez like it's home Cortez against the top-end offense against lefties that continues to be underpriced because of no name talent, then I'm going to keep riding with the Angels here. Absurd line.
I saw a Judge home run prop in there, so I guess that would be Modi.
No, I ended up going with Soto, not Judge. Soto because of the, it's the Canning versus a lefty thing.
Yeah.
He's faced literally the same exact number of batters versus righties versus lefties, and 7. Actually, that might have been a different stat, but either way, 7 of the 9 home runs that he's given up has been against left-handed batters. Soto has been awesome. Recently, he's one of only 8 batters that his average exit velocity is 95 miles per hour and above, meaning every time he makes contact, he averages a hard hit, which is what 95 and above is. Of that group of 8, only 3 of them have excellent metrics when it comes to both ISO and barrel rate. The other 2 are Judge and Corey Seager, and Seager's finally, he's been on a binge recently. Good company to be in. He's got the 8th highest. So that 95, he's got the 8th highest average exit velocity, which is exactly at 95. So he just barely meets the criteria, but he does. His ISO rate is the 10th highest in the MLB over the last 2 weeks. His barrel rate is the 6th highest. His fly ball rate is lower than what I generally look for home runs, but his pull rate is phenomenal, 61.1%. That's the 5th highest in the MLB over the last 2 weeks. 12 of the 14 home runs he's hit this year have been against righties. That's what Canning is. ISO rate against righties, 28.7%. That's excellent. Against lefties, it's all the way down to 18.9%. So it's literally the difference between excellent power and below average. Then, as I mentioned for Canning, 7 of the 9 home runs he's given up been against lefties. And our friends at Ballpark Pal list this extreme advantage in favor of the batter. So Soto Dong, you're obviously paying for the price at plus 255, but I like that for better value than Judge, even though Judge has been on a crazy tear.
Yeah, can't argue with Soto after I looked at Griffin Canning's numbers against left-handed bats. Makes sense. All right. Move on to the next game.
If you're looking for a long shot home run in that game, Joe Adele.
Joey.
I love me some Joe Adele this time of year.
This time of year.
Yeah.
So this is a straight pass for me. I like Luzardo, and he's been good. But I really don't like – it's way too short of a number for me to look at. The Marlins, and I when I was looking at it, I was like, oh, how about the under? Shit's at 7. So this is a pass for me.
Yeah, didn't bet this either. I would lean Padres. Obviously, you know me, I'm a homer. But in all reality, Matt Waldron had 3 bad starts, but he's had 3 of his last 4 starts have been better. Or I'm sorry. He had 3 bad starts, then he had 3 straight good starts, 2 of them being on the road. He had 1 good start against LA at home, 5 1/3, 2 hits, 2 runs. My issue with Luzardo is he hasn't given up a run in back-to-back starts. He went 8 innings yesterday, or 8 innings his last start, which is at least 2 innings more than any other start he's had this year. The Padres can't hit lefties, so again, I just it's really hard to get there. Not to mention the Padres didn't do anything yesterday. They did not deserve to win that game yesterday. Fuck you, Tim Anderson. Padres are past. I'm just not going to play it because they can't hit lefties.
I feel like a lot of people are going to be playing the fish today.
That's why I wanted to play the Padres, because I've seen that multiple people have asked me about the fish, and I'm like, nope,
Yeah,
I
think
don't
a
like
lot
it.
of people are going to be on the fish.
That's why I would let's set Padres.
I'm not saying it in a negative way. I like Luzardo. I was kind of leaning towards the Marlins myself. Prop Beaver?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat with all those people that were asking about the Marlins. It's in terms of a side in this game, it's Marlins or pass. In terms of a prop, it'd be Luzardo over 17.5 outs. You get that at minus 102 on FanDuel. I think there's some really nice value on this line due to the stretch that Luzardo's put together lately. First 4 starts of the season, he looked dreadful. He was 0-4 to line, averaging just 15 outs. He had a 7.65 ERA, 2.3 home run per 9. I could go through the numbers. They're absolutely awful. But in his last 4 times out, he is looking awesome. 1.4 ERA, 1.64 FIP, 0.74 WHIP, a 22.3 KWB percentage. The K stuff is finally coming back, which is really a foundational part of his game. So it's great to see that here. And yeah, the only reason where I could see a bit of scarediness is the fact that this is going to be a road start. The road starts have not been great, but he only has 2 of them. And then the second road start, he still managed to get through 6 despite allowing 2 runs to a similarly floundering Cubs offense versus lefties. Last 11 lefties to face the Padres have combined for a 1.05 ERA, 0.5 home run per 9, and a 0.91 WHIP. 8 of them hit 18 plus outs, while 9 of those 11 cash their individual outs line, averaging 18.6. Luzardo, while he's been worse on the road most of his career, he's done quite well. His 2 trips to San Diego, 1.5 ERA, hit this line both times. And just doing some line reading here, his ERA line is at 2.5, juice heavily to the under. With 2 or less ERA since 2022, Luzardo is over his last 29 to 35 starts and last 13 to 15 road starts. So I just think that with the positive upswing he's going on right now, there's no reason to not back him against a Padres offense that needs to prove to me that they can hit a left-handed pitcher again.
Yeah, I mean, I like the spot for Luzardo also. I agree with everything Prop Beaver said.
Yeah. I would actually say, can you put Miami first 5 under my name? Now, the more I look at it, I mean, Miami's plus 120 for the game. They're minus 105 in the first 5. I mean, if the Padres aren't going to touch Luzardo and I don't have to worry about him going deep into the game, the Marlins aren't going to have to get much off of it. And the Padres bullpen has been absolutely fantastic. They lead Major League Baseball the least amount of runs, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. Last 14 days, they're a top 10 unit. Top 5 unit. Last 30 days, they're a top 10 unit. So Miami might not score late, but yeah.
Mr. Modi.
Yeah, passed. I didn't have anything on this one.
Coward. I passed too. 51%, 40% Marlins. So no, it's not overwhelming. There's a lot of people betting the Marlins, but it's not like don't even think if you like the Marlins, don't let that scare you off.
That one comment is great. Toast, you can throw a perfect game against the Dodgers right now. Is it that bad? I don't have the game on, but my lord,
It is. Yes, it is that bad.
It's 2-0 Mets. The Dodgers have 3.
It's that bad.
Meatball McGill's dealing.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I thought he would. I wish I ran it back, but it was that stupid situation where your
No
start
way.
git's delayed a game and it's like
No
it's not
way.
worth it. Oh, damn it though. That was great.
I wanted to play the Mets. We were all betting the Mets the other day.
I
before
know.
it got canceled.
I know. It's just my boy Meatball McGill was looking studly today.
My
It's
boy
a shame.
Meatball McGill was looking studly.
Someone
He
clipped
was
that.
looking studly. He was looking handsome.
Oh, wrong one. Hold on.
What in the hell are you doing?
That was one from the Discord
You're
last
so
night.
stupid with those things. God damn it.
That was from the Discord last night.
I mean, it's true. He does have me intrigued. He's an interesting guy.
I forgot I made that one. We were laughing at you. You weren't even there, and we were ripping on you.
I know. Okay.
Oh, shit,
I'm sure
that's
the
funny.
ammo that you guys have from my podcast is
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah, it's good stuff. We're
I'm sure it is,
me and
though.
Andy me and Andy are about halfway through today's
I
episode.
hate you. In the Eddie.
It's great stuff. It's great stuff. There was one part where they Prop Beaver, you gotta watch this one.
God damn.
There's one part where they start laughing, like it's like a joke that like no one understands. They're like, you know what?
Those are my favorite jokes.
They're like, you know what I'm gonna say, right? This is exactly what you use. You know what I'm gonna say, right? Kyle Tucker, and they both go, and they start laughing. Me and Ed are like, what the fuck are they laughing at?
Jesus Christ.
Yo, you gotta watch it. It's hilarious. All right,
Oh,
Houston.
Lordy.
They're like speaking a language that I'm not even. Kyle Tucker. So Houston's on the road at Seattle. The Astros screwed me last night at a full unit on them. I mean, how do you not like the Mariners at this price? But I don't want to talk about it. I didn't bet it. Just...
Yeah, that hurt last night. I mean, every loss I had last night really hurt. This one hurt. 3 in the first from Seattle. Thanks to Jose Abreu's fantastic play at first base, and then they don't score another run the rest of the game. I'm on Seattle both ways. Seattle first 5 money line and Seattle money line. I put a half unit or 0.6 on each of them. I think Castillo comes out and shoves here today. I know that he's coming off a lackluster performance against the Yankees on the road where he gave up 7 hits, walked 3 guys, only struck out 3, gave up 2 long balls. At home, he's been much different. He's been a lot better. Last couple starts, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run or no runs against Atlanta, and then came up against Oakland, went 6 innings, gave up 2 runs and 8 strikeouts. I think I was worried about Seattle coming across the country last night. I don't worry about it so much today. Hunter Brown on the other side, dude, they just try to keep him pitching at home as much as possible. I mean, his last 7 starts, 5 of them are at home. It's because he doesn't pitch well at the road. Not to mention the fact he's faced Seattle 3 times. They've got to him 2 of the 3 times. The one time that they saw him this year, he went 4 1/3, gave up 5 hits and 2 runs, but he walked 4 guys. All 3 times that he's seen Seattle, all of them have been at home. So he's never been in Seattle. I think that gives another edge to Seattle. Is Seattle's bullpen a little bit
That's what I
taxed?
was
If you
just
talk
gonna
about
ask.
about the full game? Yes, it is. You're not going to have Munoz, yes, but you're going to have Stanek, Spear, Thornton, and Saucedo is back. All those guys, and Bauman coming
Saucedo.
over from, he's back. And I mean, honestly, I trust them. So, yeah, that's where I'm at.
I'm more inclined to tail the first 5.
Yep.
But yeah, the price is a little weird though, right? Don't you think?
I mean, the Astros have been playing a little bit better. Still the Astros. I mean, I don't know.
Let's see what Prop Beaver thinks.
I think over or pass here. Over 7.5 plus
I'd agree with
105
that.
or pass. Yeah, I know that Seattle's doing absolutely nothing right now against righties. I actually can't believe I missed this. I must have been distracted by how much they're striking out. But Jesus Christ, the last 10 of 13 righties to face them have held them to 1 or less earned runs. That is abysmal. The issue is that Hunter Brown is also abysmal, and he's on the road. And it seems that bad luck, while it may be the main contributor, it's still happening. I mean, 12.79 ERA, 4.88 WOBA, 2.76 WHIP on the road. He faced Seattle on May 5th, and as Toast mentioned, yeah, he only allowed 2 runs, but he only made it 4.1 innings and allowed 9 base runners. I would say he got a bit lucky there the first time these two teams met. The previous two starts against the Mariners, he allowed 21 base runners and 11 runs through 5.2 innings of work. That is awful. And that was at home. So he may be really vulnerable here. On the other side, we got Castillo. He looks back, no lying about it. But the xFIP, his last 7 starts, is a whole 2 points higher than his actual ERA. And while the Astros do start a lot of righties, their best 2 bats are lefties, and Castillo's been really bad against lefties. In fact, he's gotten cranked by Jordan Alvarez and Kyle Tucker in the past. He made 2 home starts against the Astros both last season. He combined for a 6.23 ERA and a 2.1 home run per 9, allowing 4+ runs in each of those. And the last 8 righties to face the Astros, 7.6 ERA, 2.2 home run per 9, 2.02 whip. Now, were those the most talented righties in the world? No, Oakland was throwing out some bums out there, but still, to hit those guys to that magnitude says something to me. So, add in the fact that the Mariners bullpen is really struggling lately, and Munoz is out for this one, and I think there's some runs here after the low-scoring affair yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, another one. The price kind of freaks me out. The number on that total freaks me out too. 7.5
Agreed. I feel like with Brown, it should be at 8 at the very least, right?
I'm
and then I'm getting plus money for the over.
Everything about this game makes me uncomfortable.
Clip that. I'm uncomfortable. I got my third and final dong on this one. Prop Beaver kind of helped make my point for me. It's Kyle Tucker. He's been phenomenal. It's really square, really chalky, but that's fine. Luis Castillo. So this is the pitcher I was thinking of. He's faced the same exact amount of batters versus righties versus lefties, and 6 of the 9 home runs he's given up has been against lefties. That's terrible. His fly ball rate against lefties is 45.3%. That's bad. He allows a pretty decently higher hard hit rate against lefties as well. Tucker has 12 at-bats against Castillo in his career. He's taken him yard twice, including last September. He hit a no-doubter. And then Tucker's been on fire. Like the entire season he's been on fire. Last 2 weeks he's been on fire. He's hit 5 home runs in the last 2 weeks. All 5 have been against right-handed pitching. I mean, he's got excellent power numbers both against righties and lefties, but his ISO rate against righties is up to 37.8%. That'd be the highest number in the entire MLB if you extrapolated that out. And it's 10 percentage points higher than it is against lefties. So it's still pretty decently higher. And yeah, he's just been phenomenal. He's been hitting the ball really well. I will gladly take advantage of it.
Kyle Tucker, who's hilarious according to Toast, apparently, did not get the
funniest guy in the league.
You got to see that part, Prop Beaver. I'm telling you, I know your humor. You're going to laugh.
We'll watch it when I come in.
Special shout out to I Eat Dog Shit. He says his 18 pick parlays plus 229,000.
He seems like a sharp.
The dude like that ass serious, like, good luck, dog shit.
It's people helping people.
That's really what we're here for, to build a community.
That's what it's about. All right. All right. Phillies minus 210. Giants plus 170. That's some funny shit right there. All right. And if I'm being honest, I didn't get to this game, so I didn't even take a single look at it. Obviously, Wheeler's the man, but I believe it was Prop Beaver who probably deserves some credit here. I'll bring him up first, actually. Weren't you the one that you rewind about 5-6 days ago was telling us that the Giants lineup is coming around against righties? Because it's looking like your prediction on that was true.
It wasn't a prediction. All I did was just go on Fangraphs and look at their ranks. They went from a lineup that was 26 in WRC plus against righties to 10th, and now they may even be higher with the run they're on right now against starting right-handed pitching as well. For me in this game, it's over or pass. I feel like the Phillies are a bit overvalued, but with that being said, every time the Giants have had a bullpen day this season, it has been a complete and utter disaster. Their opponents have scored 6, 6, and 8 runs in those 3 instances. On top of that, Spencer Howard, the great Spencer Howard, is set to return to the bigs today. He's going to be the primary pitcher here. And to say he's been utterly abysmal every step of the way through the majors would be an understatement. 7.2 ERA and a 1.67 whip through 38 appearances. I imagine that if I were to filter that to only start, this somehow gets even worse. You won't catch me dead backing Mr. Spencer Howard, no matter what the scenario is.
Yeah, why do you hate that guy?
He's awful. What are we talking about? If you're bad, you're bad. I don't like you. I'm sorry. I like high quality.
You're bad.
If you're a Meatball McGill and you strike out 5 batters and you're still bad, I like you more.
Dude, Meatball McGill has thrown 6 shutout innings right now.
Yeah, because he's that dude. The new pitch mix is working, man. I'll tell you what, he might be that guy. So that's where I lean in this one. I lean more so Phillies runs than Giants runs. I really thought the Giants were going to have more lefties in their lineup, but I guess with Jung Ho Lee out and a couple other guys, it's only 3 lefties. And really, when I like to fade Wheelers on the road against lefties. So,
all right, so I'll just put over or pass because that's for prop viewer. That's what he said. Toast, anything for this one?
Do have a bet on this game. Giants money line plus Beaver. Did I not tell you this earlier?
No, he did. Yeah.
All right, let's
Plus-
hear this.
San Francisco money line plus 180. Okay, so are the Phillies the best team in baseball? Yes. 7-3 their last 10, 14-6 their last 20, 23-7 their last 30. It's not going to hold up. Again, I'm not making a case that the Giants are a better team or anything like that, or that Zach Wheeler's going to get hit up or anything like that. My point being is that you have a Phillies priced at the absolute maximum that they can be priced at in a spot in the season where they might start to see a little bit of aggression. We've seen they've lost 3 of their last 4 games after being on that huge run. They're still coming. I mean, they just came out of Coors. I understand it's their second game now, but now they're facing a bullpen game, which I understand Beaver just illustrated that the bullpen for the Giants hasn't been that good. But I also think that they're not always going to continue to be that bad. I also feel like when they got guys like Randy Rodriguez that are starting to pitch really, really well for them, I think that can be a positive. Zach Wheeler, also 7 innings his last 2 starts. He's been really good, but his last 2 road starts against Miami, LA Angels, Cincinnati, none of those teams really worry me. Not that San Francisco lineup is crazy, but again, he's not really my point is that what Wheeler's doing on the road isn't super impressive to me. And last year he went on the road to San Francisco, went 6 innings, gave up 9 hits and 4 runs. Again, it's a different Giants team, yes. But if you're giving me a Giants team that's 8-2 their last 10, that's playing absolutely above their heads right now, and a couple guys in like Soler and Lamont Wade Jr., who's 4 for 6 off them, that have seen Wheeler well, and the world's going to be on the other side, I'll take my chances with San Francisco, who's playing phenomenal baseball right now at 8-2 their last 10. I'll take my chance at plus 180. And that line's moved down since then, and everybody's on the Phillies.
That was pretty compelling.
It's at 165 now.
Now let's swing it over to the guy wearing a Phillies hat. What are your what's your take?
Well, I put it on after you said the Phillies are the best team in baseball. This is my pick. I actually would agree with Toast. I feel like the Phillies, the logic is like, oh, there's no way they're going to lose 2 in a row. And then they just lost 2 in a row yesterday. Now the logic is like, okay, well now there's really no way they're going to lose 3 in a row. I feel like you can sometimes find value on these heavy favored teams after losses because people just assume, well, there's no way that's going to happen. And their bats, like it's a tiny sample size, but they went into Colorado and really didn't hit that great. Like they put up 5 runs in the top of the 9th, whatever game that was. And other than that, they really didn't hit that well. Yesterday they lost. Granted, that was Taijuan Walker. He stinks, but still they did lose yesterday. Anyways, my pick, I went with the under. So basically the opposite of prop Beaver, just fading the Phillies bats that were always going to, there's no way they're going to keep up what they were doing. In that when they went like 15 straight series without losing a series, like that's crazy. That was never going to keep it up. So I feel like it's a little bit of just fading the Phillies bats are in a little bit of a slump while backing Wheeler to have a good start. So yeah, under.
I'll put up the Giants money line graphic for me because if I were to bet this game, I would be tailing Toast on that. But I already have 5 bets open, so I doubt I even do this. This one has a late start time, so this could always be one that we make a last-minute decision to pull the trigger on later on. All right, so let's do some community parlay or community. What are we doing? Community dog?
Dog of the day.
There was a lot of comments saying that
Beaver,
we missed the community parlay.
Luzardo's outs line dropped to 16.5 on DK. What's that mean to you, if anything?
It means I'm a bit sick.
Okay. No, I wasn't talking shit. I'm reading the stuff.
What the fuck? Why? I don't know. Maybe he gets hit up today.
Okay.
I could live with it. I like my 7 other plays.
Yeah, I get it.
All right, so Cardinals, Pirates.
What the fuck? It's not only DK. Every single book dropped it. A whole ass out. Huh. Well, it's a trap.
It's a trap.
Yeah. Lordy.
All right. For our first 4 contestants for dog of the day. Modi, while they're casting their votes, you want to tell these nice folks where they can find your stuff?
Yeah, nice folks. You can find me on Twitter at my handle you see here at Jedi Modi. Post YouTube videos, NBA, MLB. When NBA is over, I'm planning on doing WNBA. We'll see if I end up having enough time there. But yeah, follow me on Twitter. That'll get you basically everything that I do.
Someone said I used to think Modi was a leader, but then I saw him put the Phillies hat on, and now I know he's a follower.
I agree.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
It's like pretty deep from just putting a baseball hat on.
Bandwagon Phillies fan. That's what he's saying.
He grew up in Philly.
And what has the Phillies done to be a bandwagon fan? Win some
Well,
regular
It's
season
pretty.
games?
They're pretty disgusting.
I was more so making the joke because they're like this season they have the best record. That's all. I wasn't. Yeah, they haven't won a
Oh,
World
I
Series
thought he
since
said that.
2008.
I thought he said that. My bad.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, end poll. The comments are out of control today. All right, Cardinals. Cardinals money line is the first dog of the day contestant. Finally,
They got the Dodgers in Game 2 at -120 with Gavin Stone on the mound.
and one of the hottest teams in baseball in the Mets. All right.
I mean, I'm not playing it, but Jesus.
All right, so where we leave off, we got the Twins at +114.
Oh my God! And they've seen him already this year.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, they've seen him.
All right, 110. All right, second round of voting for the dog of the day. Right now we.
I'm gonna fucking.
Bro,
What have you
you
today?
know that was dude.
Someone's gonna get hit.
I'm still laughing at I eat dog shit.
Race run.
Like I was like, good luck, dog shit. Like, genuine as hell, just literally, good luck, dog shit. That was funny as shit. Oh man. Andy, you can head out. By the way, I'm not gonna do a video tonight. I'm working on the college football stuff.
Oh, that's hype.
Oh no, you have to work pull an all-nighter, Prop Beaver, and you can leave that. So it's Twins. Cardinals and Twins are the two finalists.
I sent you an underdog, by the way. And it's all unders. That's what we call an underdog.
Wow, you really do have your sharp shoes on today.
They call me UUD.
You polished those guys off, took them out of the closet, put those sharp shoes on. Is that another?
I bring them to Zappos quite often.
McGill just struck out 7-inning shutout for McGill. Just struck out in the inning.
Damn, man. Why did
Meatball McGill
out yet?
I know,
Why did
they
it
had to
have
do
to
it on
rain
the
out
doubleheader.
yesterday?
Yeah, you had to have it on a doubleheader, these bastards.
Fucking 9 Ks, you just struck out the side.
Yeah,
Dude, McGill's an animal right now. Jesus Christ.
he's a beast.
Holy shit, dude.
All right.
7 Ks against Cleveland and 9 Ks against the Dodgers. I'm going to keep betting this, dude. We're going to get 5.5 next time at plus money. Sign me the hell up. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. He is or is it that the Dodgers are that bad?
The Dodgers are ass and they're bad in day games, but like, dude, Cleveland is you if you're going into Cleveland and striking out that lineup, a top 5 lineup every single year against righties in terms of K percentage, getting 7 off of them in your worst spot on the road against lefties, you've officially gained a fan. So, Meatball McGill, hey, you're on the menu now.
Are the Dodgers on vampire status?
Dude,
only
Have you
good
guys
at
seen
night.
Quintana's numbers against the freaking Dodgers? Oh.
This
Get me
guy.
off this stream.
Well, the Dodgers. Yeah, I have seen them.
Like I was like
Yeah.
double checking. I'm like, oh no, don't look at this because now you're gonna want to bet the damn Mets.
Oh no! Now we're getting another graphic on the way.
Fuck, you could see my screen. It would have been so much funner
Yeah.
if you can't see
Yay!
it. Yay, awesome.
Yay.
Damn it!
That's good
Tough
stuff.
one. It's a tough graphic.
All right. So Angels. So here are the finalists for Dog of the Day. Sorry that took so long because you guys liked a lot of dogs today.
That was the softest dog bark.
I know.
I've
I feel
ever
like
heard.
everyone on this panel needs to get some sleep badly.
Yeah. I actually did sleep 3 hours yesterday. I was grinding that night slate. I just kept finding shit. I'm like, well, we got to keep up now. We got to stay up
Dude,
now.
I
Gotta
felt the
post more.
same way. It was midnight,
Yeah.
and I was like, if I don't post these right now, I'm gonna be pissed off in the morning. So I got up out of bed and posted my stuff on the website.
Well, I don't know. I posted Lazardo last night, and now it's afternoon, and I'm pissed off. So-
People
so-
are saying they want the
yeah.
shirt that says Meatball McGill is on the menu. Put Beaver's face on it.
Hey, we can talk to our merchandising guy, and we could get that
Yeah, he's
fixed
me.
right away for you guys.
He's
yeah.
me. Oh my god.
Be like a #1 seller.
Good luck, dog shit.
That's another good one. That's another good shirt.
He was so nice about it. Good luck, dog
Yeah.
shit. Twins is your guys' favorite dog of the day. Twins
My
right there,
man.
+14. So the community dog of the day, by the way, is 2-2, but that means plus ROI because you're doing plus money. You got the Twins money line at +114. Now let's let Prop Beaver get up and do his dance and do his thing, where he shares his underdog pick'em that hasn't hit since 2022.
Since the Cold War, since
No,
since
dude, there was one where
since
you hit,
Reagan legalized pot federally. Yeah,
you
it's been a while.
no, you had a stretch where you hit like 4 out of 6 too.
I know it's been tough sledding lately, and I'm actually the weekend treated me good in terms of the props. So I guess I'm just putting one loser in there every time. I don't know what the hell's happening, but yeah,
Or maybe you're just not very talented.
or maybe I'm just not built for this shoot.
Your sharpshooters are at the. You needed to
That-
get shine.
Exactly, they were at the cleaner, still
Yeah.
getting dried out. Yeah, from the pool party. So we got Brian Bayo. Lower than 23.5 fantasy points. Earned run line is high as hell. The outs line is, I think, juiced under, or it's a low line. I forget which one. Lots of games today. So I like that one there. Orioles are picking it up. Went with the lower on walks for Max Fried. The dude just doesn't walk the Nationals. I'm hoping we see the same today. Command looked excellent his last time out. And then we got Nestor Cortez, lower than 32.5 fantasy points. I will ride or die for my Angels against lefties all day. So continuing to do so there. Went with a 3-pick, went a little more conservative, took a pick out. Hopefully, we can get a nice W today.
If you don't have an Underdog Fantasy account, it's available in any state highlighted in this map. So if you're in one of the states highlighted in yellow, head over to Underdog Fantasy, the website, or download the app. When you make your account, make sure you use the promo code BET, B-E-T. That'll get you a $100 deposit bonus match. So if you deposit $100, they will give you a free $100 to play with. That's B-E-T. Everyone, thanks for watching. Toast, Commish is good for tomorrow morning?
I'm not sure. I haven't talked to him. I would assume so if he
Bro,
said he
he's
was.
like your best pal.
Best pal.
He's like your Biff, bro.
No, I can ask him. I'm sorry. I'm not positive.
All
I'm
right, so
sorry.
we're gonna there's 6 there's 6 day games on tomorrow. So the plan is for us to come on and go through the 6 MLB day games, and then we'll be back at normal time to do the NBA. There is no NBA. That was a trick. We'll be back later on to do the night games and stuff. So that's the plan. But we got to talk to Commish and see, because if there's no NBA, you know what? Ski and Rob Vino are coming on to do WNBA. Okay, yes. So we're going to come on in the early and do the MLB day games, and then we'll be back on later. That's definitely going to happen. I will post it. As far as my bets for the day, they're all posted on the website. Prop Beaver had 6 or 7 posts up there today.
I have 8 plays out today. So.
Wow.
Jesus Christ. All right, everyone, have a great day. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll be in the Discord. I'm working all night, so I'll be in the Discord if you need me. Have a good one. Later.
Say go to.
Peace.